Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. I, Naruto, become stronger with a critical strike system. Chapter 81. Hey, kid, why did you appear here? What about your adults? Tsunade was playing enthusiastically, when suddenly she saw a child squeezed in, looking very calm, which made her a little surprised. How did this kid squeeze in, and it looks familiar? But taking a closer look, Tsunade shook his head, confirming that he had never seen the child in front of him. You successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's curiosity, 9 times the critical strike, and gained strange power. Naruto ignored this, but grinned. I heard you're a fat sheep, so I'll give it a try too. Hey, it's not something you can play around without a guardian. Children, don't influence me here. Tsunade, long time no see. Just as Naruto was about to say something, Jiraiya squeezed in and greeted Tsunade with a smile. I'm his guardian. Jiraiya. Tsunade's expression sank. Why did you appear here? I have something to do with you, and you don't have to look gloomy when you see me. Okay, I'll buy you a drink later, let's chat. I like the proposal. Tsunade looked at Naruto, eyes flickering. Little devil, are you sure you want to come? She could see that Jiraiya said she was Naruto's guardian, but it was just a joke. The kid in front of her was very assertive, and there was no sense of disobedience between the two of them. You successfully aroused the curiosity of Senju Tsunade, the critical strike was 30 times, and you got Tianshoujiao. Come, HMPH, watch me bankrupt you. Tsunade sneered in his heart, I can't play those old fritters, I also can't play you stinky brat, it's a joke. Not long, Tsunade came out of the casino in a daze, his face still full of disbelief. Lost, and she lost so thoroughly that she almost lost her underpants. The little ghost in front of her was simply terrifyingly strong. He could hit anything and kill her directly, completely unable to arouse the emotion of resistance. You successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's depressed mood, the critical hit is 10 times, and the gambling luck +3. Naruto looked disgusted, it was useless. He didn't have any thoughts in this regard, and if it wasn't for Tsunade to lose quickly this time, he wouldn't have shot himself. Still, it's delicious. Naruto silently calculated that the big fat sheep was indeed a big fat sheep, and the wallet in his pocket became fat again. Shizune, who was following behind, was also in a trance. This random kid could kill Tsunade with his helmet and armor removed. As expected, Master Tsunade is not suitable for this. You should give up this time, right? Wrong. Master Tsunade is the kind of person who pokes more and more courageously. How could he just admit defeat? Shizune shook her head. She should be convinced of this, otherwise their lives would be good now, instead of wandering around and avoiding debt collection like they are now. The only way is to wait until the money arrives in the account and pay it back slowly, save a little to continue playing, and then continue to lose money. This cycle has been going on for a long time. Tsunade quickly recovered from the blow, stepped forward with a smile and hugged Naruto forcefully, and said with a smile, Little devil, is your technique good? Do you have any secrets? Teach me. Woo, let go, I can't breathe. Naruto muttered, struggling. Ma Dan, the hero of the female school, is heroic, and now I can't stand it at all. But it's delicious. Naruto sighed in his heart. I don't know if Hinata will also be full of pride in the future. You have successfully aroused Jiraiya's envy, the critical strike is 100 times, and you have obtained a special medicine for phobia. This thing, Naruto's heart moved, and he stopped struggling for a while, but it was really hard to breathe, and Naruto began to struggle again. There is no secret. Finally breaking away from Jiraiya's envious and jealous eyes, he slowly let out a sigh of relief. Ha, it's comfortable. It just suffocated me. Single quote. Jiraiya, gone. The little fool, Jiraiya gritted her teeth. He knows what kind of virtue Naruto is. This is a small pervert, but Tsunade automatically sent it to his door. I am so jealous. I am so envious. Don't look at Tsunade as if she's a bit older, but her ninjutsu keeps her young forever, and she has an aura about her as the years go by. This temperament is mesmerizing. You have successfully aroused Jiraiya's envy, jealousy and hatred. The critical strike is 10 times, and you get the water of spiritual energy. Naruto ignored Jiraiya, but touched his nose. The smell just now was surprisingly good. What a pity. I thought there was some secret. Tsunade curled her lips, unaware that there was something wrong with her behavior just now. in her eyes, this is just a child, it's no big deal. Come on, Jiraiya, I'm out of money now. Let's go. Jiraiya lamented that the incident had already happened, and it was useless to say anything, it would be better to forget about it, and then took Tsunade and the others to a store. There is a lot of traffic here, so it should taste good. I've been here before. Tsunade found a place to sit down at random, and said with a smile, the taste here is really good. Speaking of which, I haven't eaten Ichiraku ramen in Konoha village for a long time. I don't know if it is still there. Yes, the store has expanded. This time I'm here to find you back. Find me back? Tsunade was a little surprised. What do you want me to go back to? The village is gone, I just keep going around, and I don't bother to look at those people's faces. Didn't you pay attention to what happened in the ninja world? Shizune. Tsunade looked at Shizune. Did something happen in the ninja world? Shizune is confused. How do I know? I spend every day in the casino with you, although there is a lot of information there, but I am not going to collect information, so I don't care at all. What I care about every day is what to eat and where to live. I haven't paid attention to things in the ninja world for a long time, and now you ask me, I really don't know. Forget it, it looks like you don't know, Jiraiya, just tell me, what happened to Konoha village? Orochimaru came back and launched the Konoha collapse plan directly while taking Chunan's exam. It's been more than a month, and you don't know anything about it. I said you don't have to integrate into ordinary people so thoroughly. Chunin exam. Orochimaru. Tsunade frowned. As Konoha's collapse plan, this really looks like Orochimaru's style. And then, it's useless for you to look for me. It's all over. It's good that Konoha village didn't collapse. No Hokage anymore. The third generation is dead. Tsunade's pupils contracted suddenly. It's so easy to die, but yes, he's old after all, and it's normal for him to be exhausted. It's not unusual to meet Orochimaru, a scumbag who died. Hello. Jiraiya was silent. Do you arrange teachers like this? Not dead. Rubbing his temples, Jiraiya smiled wryly and explained. There was a super strong man in the village, who disintegrated the Konoha collapse plan this time, but for some reason, third generation is no longer suitable to stay in the position of Hokage, so I'm coming out to find you. Good guy. Naruto looked sideways. You didn't say a word about the above people asking you to be Hokage, you only said that Tsunade was Hokage, you really belong to you. You don't blush and you don't breathe, and you don't see any signs of lying at all. Tsunade, who was taking a sip of wine, was stunned, and looked at Jiraiya differently, super strong. Find me as a Hokage. Are you kidding? Do you think I'm joking? Who is the super strong man, do I know him? Now Tsunade is interested. Every action of Orochimaru is very careful, he is such a person, if he is not absolutely sure, he will not carry out the so-called Konoha collapse plan. So this person must not have been expected by Orochimaru either. No, it must be far beyond his expectations, otherwise it would not be the case. Strictly speaking, you also know. Who is it? Far in the sky, close in sight. You, Tsunade sneered. Don't be funny, if you can go to heaven with Sows, you must be played around by Orochimaru. Jiraiya was expressionless. I thank you for knowing me so well, you were right, I am really being played around by Orochimaru. It's not me, it's him. Uzumaki Naruto. Tsunade and Shizune looked at Naruto together, looked at his height, and the corner of Tsunade's mouth twitched fiercely. Are you sure you're not kidding me? Why don't I believe it? I didn't tease you, it was him. Naruto smiled shyly. It's okay, it's okay. It's still a ghost. Tsunade is confused. Just such a little guy, you told me that he disintegrated Orochimaru's conspiracy, but Jiraiya's serious expression doesn't seem to be lying. So it's true. Tsunade looked at Jiraiya in disbelief, then at Naruto, and couldn't help but gasp. You successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's shocking emotions, 100 times the critical strike, and obtained by how technique. You successfully aroused Shizune's shocking emotion, the critical strike was 30 times, and you got the spirit minister. Be specific. Jiraiya didn't say anything when she saw Tsunade still didn't believe it. If it was him who didn't see it with his own eyes, he wouldn't believe it either. But the truth is, it's true. Jiraiya told Tsunade about Naruto one by one, and Tsunade's expression changed when he listened. Shock. Still shocked. At this moment, She really couldn't sit still, and looked up and down at Naruto, who was covered by her just now, and screamed. Her face was very exciting. Call. It's incredible. After a long time, Tsunade breathed out lightly, with incredible emotions remaining on his face. Terrible. Sage mode, Nine Tails chakra mode, and the Buddha on the top, one after another, made her dizzy. Especially the Buddha on the top. Isn't this the ninjutsu used by my grandfather? Why Uzumaki Naruto too? As Jiraiya said, this Uzumaki Naruto is a mystery. Tsunade was a little curious about Naruto, why he was so powerful. She had seen a lot of monsters, but it was the first time she heard of such a monster ninja. You have successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's shocking emotions, 1,000 times critical strike, and obtained spiritualization technique. Spiritualization technique. Naruto glanced at it. This technique is famous. In Naruto's view, it is the soul separation technique, which can attack and carry energy. It is one of the best existences among S-level ninjutsu. The soul goes out of the body, holding the sword to kill. This is not the same nature as Ujien's flight, but this thing is too dangerous. Once it is trapped in the soul body, it will be the rhythm of the end. It can be used as a whole card. Naruto integrates it into the body. Carefully understand the magical effect of this spiritualization technique. Forget it, none of this has anything to do with me. As for the position of Hokage, I won't take it. Find someone else. Why? No reason. Konoha village, I don't really want to go back. Tsunade shook his head. That place is her sad place. If she could, she would never want to go back in her life. Jiraiya looked at Naruto. Naruto was taken aback. What are you looking at me for? I have nothing to do. If the old Naruto might use his words to impress Tsunade. But I am not. I don't know anything about Zuiden. Is there really no other way? There is no way. Even if I want to go back, I can't go back. Tsunade saw that Jiraiya was not giving up, and knew that Jiraiya was a stubborn person, so he said directly, I am sick, and it is not serious. Quote. Naruto. As expected of the legendary Sannin, everyone is very ruthless to themselves. Now the person in front of me openly says that he is sick, and he is still very sick. Tisk. Maybe that's why they were able to succeed. Jiraiya was taken aback even more. What disease? Hemophobia. Tsunade's three floating words made Jiraiya's color change suddenly, and her voice was high. What? You heard me right, it's just a matter of fear. How can this be? Jiraiya's expression is unpredictable, and blood phobia can cause a lot of trouble to ordinary people, let alone medical ninjas like Tsunade. It is really a fatal blow. No wonder Tsunade has become so decadent now, the original crux here. But he knew the crux of the matter, but he couldn't do anything about it. This is mental trauma. That, Naruto said. Will you go back to being a Hokage after you cure your blood phobia? Of course. Tsunade looked at Naruto, and felt that although he was a bit powerful, he was a little naive. Is hemophobia so easy to treat? Naruto subconsciously stretched his hand down, went into the ninja tool bag and took out a box. Oh, what a coincidence, I brought the special medicine, you should go back obediently with me. Naruto handed over the box. What's this? Seeing the box that Naruto handed over, Tsunade was a little surprised. This box is very delicate. Could it be a ring inside? Tsunade casually took it and opened it, and was speechless for a while. Inside was a pill, and I don't know what it would do. Specific medicine, Naruto explained. This pill drill is aimed at patients with hemophobia. One pill works, and the effect is remarkable. You deserve it. Tsunade, Shizune, Jiraiya, good guy. I call it a good guy. As soon as Tsunade finished talking, you came with a special medicine for hemophobia. Are you taking us fools? You have successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's dissatisfaction. The critical strike is 11 times, and the power of the soul has been weakly strengthened. You successfully aroused Shizune's dissatisfaction, 13 times the critical strike, and obtained the water of spiritual energy. You have successfully aroused Jiraiya's dissatisfaction. The critical strike is 5 times, and the duration of Sage mode is +1. Naruto, don't believe me, I didn't lie to you, this is really a special medicine. Where did it come from? You don't need to know that. Tsunade sneered. Poison. It's the aphrodisiac. Naruto pouted. Believe it or not. Tsunade was taken aback for a moment, then laughed. Good boy, you are straightforward enough, I like it. Since it is a special medicine. Under Shizune and Jiraiya's astonished gazes, Tsunade threw it into the mouth, and it melted in the mouth, and quickly integrated into the body. It doesn't feel like it, but it's sweet, a bit like candy, and it melts too fast. Pervy sage, rather. Why me? Jiraiya was furious. Why can't it be you? I'm still young, you're already old, and of course you have to do this thing because you did it. Do you really want me to do everything? It's impossible. Just wait for me. Jiraiya swears and casts Chakra Scalpel with her hand raised, and the original beam of Tsunade is bloody. That's not right. The terrified Tsunade suddenly realized that he was not afraid of blood anymore. Blinking and blinking, Tsunade was dazed, looking at Naruto like he was looking at an alien. The effect of this medicine is too good, it will be effective immediately after taking it, okay. It is indeed a special medicine. You have successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's shocking emotions, the critical strike is 10 times higher, and you have obtained the spiritualization technique, the soul body's defense power has been enhanced, and the favorability degree +1. Favorability. Naruto's heart moved, and then he smiled. How about it? I didn't lie to you, did I? Naruto had a half smile. Now, are you going back to Konoha village with us? Shizune and Jiraiya looked over with anticipation in their eyes. No, Tsunade denied it, and sneered, why do you want to go back? I accept your love, boy, but if you let me go back as a Hokage, I will definitely not go back. Jiraiya helplessly raised her forehead, knowing that it was such a result. It seems that we can only wait and see. There is still plenty of time. Tsunade has been found, so he is not in a hurry. Shizune is also a little disappointed. She really wants to go back and have a look. There are memories of her childhood, and she doesn't know what Konoha village looks like now. After so many years, many places have changed drastically, and I don't know if I can still recognize it. I really won't go back. Certainly. Tsunade folded his hands, squeezed the space, and looked at Naruto and Jiraiya lightly, with an expression of what you can do to me. She is in a very good mood now. Home delivery for no reason, my hemophobia healed. But the position of Hokage is so tiring. Many things must be carefully avoided. Drinking and gambling must be reduced. What is the meaning of this kind of life? It's not as cool as it is now, and you can do whatever you want. You sure? Of course. Well, Naruto stood up blankly. What you up to? Tsunade raised his eyebrows. You look like you want to fight. Boy, don't think that you can beat me because you know the Sage Mode Ninetales mode. Seeing is believing, I don't believe you are as powerful as Jiraiya said. At the end of the day, Jiraiya heard it, not really saw it with her own eyes. Gone. What's wrong with Ninetales mode? You look down on it, come on, brat, kill her. You have successfully aroused Ninetales Kurama's feelings of hatred, critical hit 15 times, and Ninetales friendship +1. Naruto looked at Tsunade calmly without any disturbance in his heart. Slap you until you lose your temper and then arrest you. That's how tough it is for people who don't keep their promises. Tisk, yes, enough man. Tsunade is still in the same action, and the eyes of the people around him are straight. This girl who looks like 20 or 30 years old is really unexpected. Go outside, certainly, I can't use it here, but I want to see how strong you are. Tsunade sneered, got up and walked outside. Thinking that no matter how bad Naruto is, it won't be really bad, Tsunade simply came to the outside of the village in a few ups and downs. This is a wilderness, which is just right for them to use. A good place to choose. Looking around, Naruto's heart moved. This place can't be the place where Sannin fought in the original book. Come on, you can't beat me with your current appearance. Yeah, Naruto smiled strangely. 8 inner gates, open the gate. Boom. As soon as the second gate is opened, a faint red halo emerges from the whole body, lingering around the whole body. The astonishing air pressure wants to spread in all directions. Oh, 8 inner gates. Tsunade was a little surprised. This physical technique is terrifying. Might Guy's father directly beat up the 7 ninja swordsmen. However, this physical technique puts a heavy burden on the body, so it's best not to use it indiscriminately. In order to respond to your attention, let me see who is stronger. Tsunade threw away his coat, let the coat be blown away by the wind, laughed loudly, and rushed up with fists clenched. She likes the feeling of punching to the flesh, so she develops her own strength. Weird power. Weird power. With 2 cheers, Naruto also swung heavily in a circle, and under Tsunade's astonished gaze, 2 fists, one big and one small, collided violently. Boom. The energy fluctuation exploded. Tsunade trembled all over. The whole person flew upside down, turned a corner in midair and landed steadily, then looked at Naruto in shock and exclaimed, "How do you know my history? You have successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's shocking emotions, 100 times the critical strike, and gained the spiritualization technique soul power enhancement. You have successfully aroused Shizune's shocking emotions, tripled the critical strike, and gained the power of shadow clone technique." Although Jiraiya is also a little shocked, but he is used to Naruto's monsters. He just heard that he developed Rasengan by himself, so it's not surprising that he just heard that he developed strange power. Just calm down and get used to it. Is it a surprise? Of course it's an accident, you kid is really a monster. Tsunade shouted angrily, rushed up again, and kicked him with his foot. Naruto saw that she was wearing sandals, and with Naruto's keen vision, she could see that Tsunade's jade feet were well maintained. It is indeed the pioneer of 100 healings mark. It looks compact, and it is really a charm from the outside. Radiant women. Heaven guards the feet. Heaven guards the feet. Naruto also raised his foot and kicked, combined with the power of the 8 inner gates and his own power, the superposition of power was very terrifying. Puff. Tsunade flew out again. Tsunade. Jiraiya. Shizune. Jiraiya raised her forehead. Tsunade was finished. As a medical ninja, she is indeed very strong, but her main focus is medical ninjutsu. It is true that medical ninjutsu can also be used against enemies, and it also has a lot of damage, but Tsunade's strongest is monster power. The whole cards must not be used in this battle, this is not a life and death fight. But Naruto didn't use Sage Mode either. So in general, Tsunade lost in Jiraiya's opinion. Tsunade gritted her teeth, she didn't believe this evil, a mere brat could suppress her, one of the legendary Sannin. Tsunade rushed up again, and without any surprise, was beaten to pieces by Naruto. Are you convinced? Naruto appeared in front of Tsunade, holding her hand behind her back, with a smile on her face. It's like a child abusing an adult. It seems to be very disobedient, but Tsunade can't tell. Why is this Uzumaki Naruto so strong that he can't break free, and it's no wonder that he can't stop it when he cooperates with the skill of the strange power technique. Terrible. Is this the Uzumaki Naruto that Jiraiya said? It's really amazing. Hearing Naruto's inquiry, he sneered. Convinced? Of course not. In that case, Naruto quickly took out a special bag from the ninja bag, and put it in before Tsunade could react, with only one head exposed. As Tsunade struggled, the bag would shrink and tighten, outlining her beauty. Tsunade was ashamed and angry, not daring to struggle. What she was more curious about was what kind of cow and horse, and why she couldn't break free with her own strength. What the hell kind of bag is this? A special bag, it seems that it is really easy to use now. Naruto's face was full of smiles. This looks really good, this bag was naturally produced by a critical strike, and there are many other weird things like this. He didn't expect to be able to use it today. With force on his wrist, Tsunade swayed directly on his shoulder. Due to his height, it was okay. Immediately, Tsunade panicked and yelled loudly, "Let go of me. Late, since you don't go back in person, I will carry you back, a dishonest person." Tsunade was ashamed and angry. I've never been so embarrassed in my life. Being carried by a child, and at this height, at this position. Jiraiya rubbed her hands together and said with a smile, "Naruto, let me do it, you're so tired." "No, you can't stop it." Naruto sternly refused. Shizune nodded. Naruto's words are really powerful, he can calm Master Tsunade. "Hey, Shizune, who are you after?" "Jiraiya, you still say words for him, this is the little color batch, do you think he is very pure?" Come on. For the first time, Jiraiya hated her reputation for being so bad. "Let's go, hurry back to the village." Naruto carried Tsunade on his shoulders, and sighed in his heart, it's so predictable. Quote. Afterwards, she rushed towards Konoha village. Tsunade dangled on Naruto, feeling ashamed and indignant, she would have readily agreed to Naruto Jiraiya to go back if she had known this situation. Instead of, It's as embarrassing as it is now. Behind him, Jiraiya reluctantly followed closely behind. Shizune also hugged the porpoise and followed. They actually had nothing to clean up, just some clothes and some dead notes. It's evening. Put me down. After driving for a long time, Tsunade got used to it. A brat, she doesn't even know if she has the courage to draw a sword to ask the sky. She is afraid of a ball. You have successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's contempt, 30 times the critical strike, and obtained a spell, a time-limited spell. Naruto nodded and dropped it on the ground. Tsunade. This person has no pity at all, and he will definitely not find a wife in the future. Jiraiya glanced at Tsunade, and then looked around. This place is really good for sleeping at night, but someone needs to watch the night. I'll come in the first half of the night, and you in the second half of the night. What do you think, Naruto? Can. Naruto nodded, which didn't make sense to him. As for letting Tsunade go, what are you kidding? What if she escapes? It's fine now. I didn't expect you to be so direct. While cooking, Jiraiya looked at Naruto with admiration. Are you always so direct? Look what's going on. Jiraiya's eyes lit up. Yes, I like to detour. Quote. I would also like. Quack quack. Hey hey hey. Tsunade. Shizune. Hey, Shizune, I seem to have seen the second Jiraiya N. Shizune thought deeply. I seem to have seen it too. Hey, I was taken to pieces. Master Tsunade, you were carried by Naruto for a long time today. Shizune reminded at the right time. I thought Naruto was only 12 years old, but looking at the situation. Tsunade's face darkened. Is selective amnesia bad? If you have to say it, is it embarrassing or uncomfortable? Asshole. Tsunade was mad inside, but the bag was so weird that he couldn't get rid of it at all. After a long time Tsunade was discouraged again. Nothing. Let's mess it up. Hey, Jiraiya, come here. Tsunade is like a caterpillar, well, a pretty caterpillar. Hearing this, Jiraiya walked over and sat in front of Tsunade, looked at Tsunade and asked, what's the matter? I have to help Naruto cook. Tell me about that kid, and you should know the recent situation in the village, so tell me the same. Most of the day is enough for her to think about everything. Isn't that just being a Hokage? What era is it now? Just ask someone for help, there is no need to be so tired, and she also wants to know what went wrong that made third generation unable to be Hokage. You must know that third generation has been Hokage for so many years, and its strength and prestige are all there. No matter how good you are, you can't be a Hokage, and you have to retire. Was it maimed by Orochimaru? The matter of Konoha village is complicated, and third generation is still in charge of Hokage, but he is old, and he has another incident, so he is no longer able to succeed Hokage. What the hell happened? It's going to come to this point. About Naruto's identity. Jiraiya explained the ins and outs of the matter to Tsunade in detail. This is really like shooting yourself in the foot with a rock. It's awesome. Tsunade sneered. Isn't this his own fault? It is true that people become indecisive a lot in old age, otherwise such things would not have happened. Jiraiya nodded. Naruto has indeed suffered a lot of grievances, and now that these things happened in Konoha village, he didn't get into trouble because he has many friends in the village. Thanks to those people who didn't yell at Naruto, on the contrary, they have become friends since childhood, otherwise the consequences of Konoha village now were really unpredictable. Friends. Yeah, Naruto's life is a mess. You know what, this guy has 3 girlfriends in Konoha village. What cows and horses? Tsunade's pupils widened, and he gasped, 3. Yeah, the best is not here yet. The best thing about him is that the 3 girls didn't fight, and they are very harmonious together. That's fine. The adults don't care about it, just let them do whatever they want. Awesome. Shizune on the side was dizzy. In this day and age, there are not many people who are so above board. Who is there? Tsunade was curious. They should all have no identity, otherwise who would be happy? On the contrary, the corner of Jiraiya's mouth twitched, and he growled viciously. One of them is Hyuga Hinata, the white-eyed princess of the Hyuga family, the other is Yamanaka Ino, the apple of the eye of Yamanaka, and the other is Tiantian. Who is Tiantian? It's the daughter of the biggest ninja leader in the entire ninja world. Tsunade stared at Jiraiya dumbfounded. You can't tell the truth, can you? Why does this sound like listening to the heavenly scriptures, so magical? This kid has really reached the pinnacle of his life, and he is so admirable. Yeah, I really admire it. Tsunade squinted. You really should admire that you haven't brought a single one back after wandering outside for so many years. Speaking of which, the three of us are also failures, and we don't even have a single child. Jiraiya smiled lowly. How about we solve it internally? Gone. Tsunade snorted coldly. You are eating, drinking and having fun outside, what if you get sick? I don't have feelings for you, so give up on it. Scum. Jiraiya clutched her chest, feeling relieved. Sister. Orochimaru is amazing. He can become a woman or a man. You can experience both. Look at him. That is the pinnacle of life. Naruto didn't know when he came over, and said with a smile, you are amazing, you can't compare. Real or fake? Probably true. Jiraiya hesitated. It is said that his ninjutsu can invade as long as the soul is suitable, and then become that person. That said, it's true. Tsunade and Jiraiya looked at each other, and they didn't expect Orochimaru to play so flamboyantly and raised his posture. So what does this have to do with your Naruto having three? It's okay, I'm just stating a fact. Well, come and cook. Naruto pulled Jiraiya over, and dragged him over directly. Is it possible to escape? It's right for the urologist to help. Shizune, you want to go back to Konoha village too? Ah, no, I want to go back and take a look. After all, it is the place where I have lived since I was a child, but I will definitely follow Master Tsunade all the time. I will go wherever you go. Hey, I have stray dogs these years, and it seems good to go back to Konoha village. My phobia has also been cured inexplicably. It's time to go back. Go back and leave a legacy. My medical ninjutsu cannot just be buried like this, it must continue to flourish. Tsunade-sama is finally starting to cheer up, isn't he no longer depressed? Shizune's eyes are shining brightly. How high-spirited Master Tsunade was at the beginning, but now he is constantly depressed. Now because of Naruto, is the rumored Master Tsunade coming back? I really look forward to it. You have successfully aroused the disdain of Senju Tsunade, triple the critical strike, and get 100 healings mark. You successfully aroused Shizune's gratitude, the critical strike is 10 times, and you get a bit of aura and soil. There's something new again, this time it's dirt. Naruto glanced over. Reiki clay. The soil that contains some aura can be used to plant some plants, which will have unexpected effects. Elixir. Naruto was full of question marks, how to plant with so little soil. Forget it, let's keep it for now, and we can talk about it later. It won't be lost or expired if it's placed in the space. Naruto backhanded it into space and continued cooking with Jiraiya. Hey, life like this is actually pretty good now. Looking at the busy two, Tsunade sighed. At least you don't have to worry about following me in the future. No, I don't have this feeling of fear, because Tsunade-sama is a very powerful person. Yeah, Tsunade looked at Naruto's busy figure, and sighed again. The waves behind the Yangtze River push the waves ahead, the young people nowadays are really amazing. Master Tsunade, you will grow old if you sigh too much. Relax, I have 100 healings mark and won't grow old. Shizune, it makes sense, but I was speechless. Because it is true. After going around for about half a month, a group of people finally returned to Konoha village. Seeing Tsunade's deep realization of her mistake, Naruto finally let her go after carrying it for a few days. This time Tsunade didn't escape. Hokage, 5th generation, here I come. Looking at the long-lost Konoha village, Tsunade showed a smile on his face. From now on, Konoha village will enter my era. I want Konoha village to be alive, not dead like you said in Jiraiya. This is probably what Orochimaru wants to see. Standing next to Tsunade, Jiraiya suddenly felt something in his heart. He wondered if Orochimaru had such an idea before resolutely launching Konoha's collapse plan. Very likely. Tsunade looked away, muttering to himself. These are not important, go in. A group of people stepped directly into the gate of Konoha village. Tsunade, welcome back, old man, I'm in a mess. In Hokage's office, Tsunade clasped her arms and continued to squeeze the space, but she didn't care at all. Instead she looked at Sarutobi Hirazen's old face with a displeased expression. Why do you want me to come back to be Hokage? Because Jiraiya is unwilling, so the only person I can think of in the whole Konoha village is you. It was Jiraiya's recommendation that I made up my mind. Quote. What? The smile on Tsunade's face froze, Jiraiya trembled all over, and she was about to run away quietly. He didn't expect that as soon as he came back, the old man Sarutobi Hiruzen would kill the donkey and sell him directly. It's too bad. Click it, click it. Tsunade grinned. Jiraiya, come on, let's get close. No, Jiraiya flew out screaming and hit the stone wall outside. Her whole body was dizzy, Tsunade was still so violent. HMPH, making you dismissive of this Hokage position. Sarutobi Hiruzen glanced at Jiraiya lightly, then looked at Tsunade again. Since you are back, then take over as 5th Hokage, there are still many things for you to do in the village. You just stay with me these days and get acquainted with the politicians. Okay, Tsunade readily agreed. She came back this time just to be Hokage. No way. At first she was thinking of escaping, but was carried back by Naruto. Thinking of the unpleasant memories of those few days, Tsunade blushed. It's embarrassing. Fortunately, no one knew, otherwise they would be too embarrassed to go out. I'm going back. Naruto yawned. He wasn't interested in this aspect. He had been outside for so long and often had to eat and sleep on the road. Occasionally it was interesting, but after a long time he felt very boring. Might as well lie at home in a comfortable bed. At least sleep peacefully, sleep comfortably. Go, but Naruto, you have time to help, I was dragged back by you. Talk later. Naruto yawned again, turned and left. He pulled you back. Are you so easy to talk to? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked strange. He thought that Tsunade is not such an easy-going person. Something must have happened to come back obediently to succeed Hokage. Tsunade trembled all over, and now when he thinks about those few days, his whole body becomes numb and his body becomes weak. Tsunade, you're living your life. It's also getting more sensitive. Tsunade sighed inwardly, then smiled and said, Teacher, let's start. Single quote. Well, let's figure out Naruto's legacy first, and I'll wait for you to do it when you come back. When Tsunade thought about it, he realized it. Is this making Naruto owe me a favor? It's a good idea, but that little fool will not appreciate it, and she has figured out his temper a little bit along the way. The typical grievances are clear, but also too clever, such methods are useless to him. I know, but it's an attitude you show on the outside. Understand. Understood, it's really troublesome. But I will work hard and strive to be a strong Hokage. Hokage needs to be strong, and more importantly, centripetal force. I have already encountered doubts about this, so it will be up to you in the future. Don't worry, hug me. Night. Tsunade lay on the table of the Ichiraku ramen shop, with a headache on his face. I'm so sorry. Really, she regrets it very much now, believing Jiraiya and Naruto's nonsense and coming back as Hokage. Why are there so many things, and why are they so troublesome, and the elders have to be taken into account, the Hokage party is too aggrieved. Uncomfortable. Master Tsunade, cheer up, this is the first day, and there will be a long reason for King Nuo in the future. You're just not used to it. Once you get used to it, you will be at your fingertips. Look at third generation, who is not smoking a pipe, and has easily completed the task. Tsunade, how long will it take? Drink and eat noodles. Turning grief into strength, Tsunade began to sweep Ichiraku ramen. You successfully aroused Tsunade's grief and indignation. The critical strike was 34 times, and the 100 healings mark advanced version was obtained. There is an advanced version of this thing. Naruto, who was happily eating the monster meat at home, was surprised, and took a look with a light ball in his palm, and Naruto stared straight at this one glance. 100 healings mark advanced version. An ability that can regulate the body independently. The introduction was simple, but Naruto had already figured it out. It's like Tsunade's current appearance is about 25 to 35 years old, but if she learns this advanced version, she can adjust it independently. Even if you adjust to a youthful and beautiful appearance like 18 years old, it's fine, it's fine. Hiss. Naruto's eyes sparkled. This is also tailor-made for me. Naruto's mind instantly thought of Hinata and the others decades later. They can adjust an age group every day. Puff. Naruto's nosebleeds spurted out directly. 9 tails. This guy can spray nosebleeds after eating a meal. Is there something wrong with his body? Sensing it carefully, Ninetales shook his head. This guy is healthier than anyone else, even stronger than a cow, how could he be sick? Probably holding it in for too long. Ninetales thought of Minato and Kushina, Senju Hashirama and Uzumaki Mito, and suddenly had an understanding in his heart. This is the regulation of yin and yang. And Naruto didn't. I realized. You have successfully aroused Ninetales Kurama's laughing mood, tripled the crit, and obtained aura soil. Here we go again. Naruto threw them together, calmly started to finish the remaining meat and vegetables, then washed the dishes, and after finishing all this, he came to the corridor and lay down on the rocking chair. Ah, it's so comfortable. Naruto. Not long after Zabujan and Bai just came back, seeing Naruto also looked happy. It seems that you have successfully completed the task. Yeah, it's not easy to finally bring Tsunade back. Then it looks like the 5th generation is about to begin its succession. I haven't seen the succession ceremony of Konoha village Hokage yet. Everything is kept simple, and the biggest ceremony is to carve your own head on the Hokage rock for people to look up to. That's what you said. Don't cut the corner of your mouth and twitch. Why does this sound so bad? It feels like someone died and asked you to worship. Bai stood aside and shook his head. Still the familiar Naruto, still the familiar formula. By the way, your house has been renovated in the past 2 months. Would you like to go and see it tomorrow? Certainly. Naruto's eyes lit up. Then I must go and see. This is the place where I will live for a long time in the future, how could I not visit? 2 months, the speed of the ninjas is fast enough, and Yamato is very stable, which he is very relieved. I guess I came here strictly according to my own ideas. Of course, Bai and I will go over occasionally, but Hinata and the others go there every day, as if they are decorating their new home. The enthusiasm even we see is outrageous. Isn't this what it should be? Crit. Naruto's subconscious question directly made the corners of the mouths of the 2 single men twitch. Hello, don't feed the rations. Well, we're still here. By the way, where is Xianglin? Haven't you come back so late? She went to the ninja hospital for an internship. Her talent is good, and she has been living in the hospital recently. Phosphorus is very good. It is rare to see a smile on Zabujan's face. He is also very enthusiastic about learning, and he learns things very quickly. By the way, this is the talent of your Uzumaki clan. Naruto will not talk about why Xianglin can learn things so quickly. I guess so. Naruto rubbed his chin. The Uzumaki clan is indeed extraordinary, that's for sure, otherwise they wouldn't be feared to exterminate the clan. No matter what the specific reasons are, the fact of being exterminated will never change. But these are things in the past and have nothing to do with me. In this case, then I will rest first, and you can do your own things. Nodding his head again, he said, okay, I've been busy all day, and I feel quite tired. Let's have some food and take a rest. Are you coming to fight the landlord later? Sure. Naruto readily agreed that he wanted to relax when he came back, and Dudiju was also a way to relax. I'm so annoying. Sarutobi Hiruzen dragged Tsunade, who had eaten, to busy work. He had no time to rest at night, and several people had been working in the Hokage office. And she doesn't know what Naruto, Jiraiya are doing now. Shizune, what is Jiraiya doing? Taking a bath in the bathhouse. It looks very cozy, and the laughter can be heard outside. Where's Naruto? Let's stay at home, the lights are on, I didn't pay that much attention, they must be very laid back anyway, because they are not Hokage. Depend on. Why is my old lady so miserable? Tsunade went crazy, wanting to throw the document in his hand. Tsunade, calm down, just get used to it, this is just the current situation, there won't be so many things when everything is on the right track. Didn't you see I even called Might Guy? Master Tsunade, you need to work hard when you are young, come on. Clang. Might Guy gave a thumbs up, grinned at the corner of his mouth, and his teeth flashed brightly. Tsunade, even Might Guy is here, what did she say? Isn't there any writing here, what else do I have to criticize? Tsunade cried silently inwardly. I really believed in your evil. I knew that I should have escaped when I was let go by Naruto, instead of CJCI being forced to work overtime here now. My wife. The next day, Naruto got up early in the morning, stretched himself, yawned, washed and ate, and then strolled all the way to his new home alone. When you walk in and look at Naruto, you can see the decoration inside. Everything was furnished to my liking and looked very neat and beautiful. Hey, Naruto, you came so early. However, it's a coincidence that you came here. The decoration has been completed, the money has been paid, and you can move in directly. Thank you very much. As for the money, Naruto didn't need to think about it to know that the three little girls gave it, and they were the only ones who thought about it. Feeling warm in his heart, Naruto looked around a few times and was very satisfied. Then let's go first, and this time we are here to pack up the props. But it still needs some cleaning. It's okay, I'll do the cleaning myself. Cleaning is really not a difficult task for a ninja, on the contrary it is a very easy thing. Just as Naruto was about to make a move, laughter came from outside the door. Turning his head to look, Naruto suddenly had a smile on his face. Hey, three beauties, good morning. Quote. The eyes of the three of Hinata lit up, and they rushed over immediately. They looked at Naruto up and down, and found that he was full of beards and tails. You have successfully aroused Hyuga Hinata's happy emotions, the critical hit is 10 times higher, and the ability to roll eyes has been strengthened. You successfully aroused Yamanaka Ino's joyful emotions, the critical strike was 8 times, and he obtained the Land of Aura. You successfully aroused the mood of joy every day, the critical strike was 8 times, and you got the water of spiritual energy. Come on, give me a hug. Naruto laughed and spread his hands. The three of them looked at each other, and each of them rushed forward to hug Naruto, and it took a long time before they let go of Naruto's embrace with blushing faces. Does this count as an official opening of the sunroof? Seeing the three of them blushing, the smile on Naruto's face grew stronger. Life is like this, what more can a husband ask for? Very nice. I came back yesterday, but you all have tasks, so I didn't bother you, but I didn't expect you to come here early in the morning. Is this yours? Naruto pointed to some cleaning tools next to the house, a little helpless, a little spoiled. Actually, I really don't need it, just leave it to me to clean this thing. The three women said in unison. We can't help you much, but these small things can help you, we are very satisfied. Shadow Clone Technique. The three women cast Shadow Clone Technique at the same time, and then directed them to start working. Naruto looked at these clones, thoughtfully. It seems that the avatars in the ninja world can also play very well. Cough. Thinking too much. Now is not the time to think about these things. Naruto casually separated a few shadow clones to act with their shadow clones. The main body stood on the side and began to look around at the decoration effect of the house. It's really nice, this house. It's really good. Hinata and the others nodded. The decoration is high-end and atmospheric, and it looks very warm. The top floor is reserved for Zabujan and Bai. It's not very necessary for cooking, things like Warcraft meat can't be passed on. So there's nothing left. The first floor is used for meeting guests, and the second floor is used for living by yourself. 4 bedrooms and 1 living room are enough. Naruto has a smile on his face, very satisfied with the decoration this time, and overall he seems to like it. Several avatars. You have successfully aroused the dissatisfaction of Hyuga Hinata, Yamanaka Ino, and Tiantian avatars, with a critical strike of 30 times, gaining the soil of spiritual energy, a stack of strengthening symbols, and a multifunctional bicycle. Naruto. Avatars can crit out things. And it's all nice stuff, but what the hell is this utility bike? Naruto's eyes lit up when he glanced at it. This bicycle is actually useless for ninjas. Riding this thing is not as good as refining chakra to move quickly. But in this era, riding a bicycle and driving your girlfriend around the street is also a beautiful scenery, isn't it? Naruto stroked his chin and smiled. A bicycle is called a bicycle if there is someone behind it, isn't it? Go out and try it later, let's forget about it today. Naruto looked at the clones who were cleaning and waved at Hinata and the others. Let's go, help me move. Okay. Hinata's eyes lit up. They like this thing. A group of people followed Naruto to the bachelor apartment where Naruto lived. Is that what Jiraiya said about Naruto's little girlfriend? In Hokage's office, Tsunade, who rarely took a break, looked at the scenery outside the window with a rather ugly face. It's just scum. Still so swaggering, who do you envy? Yes, the one on the left is called Hyuga Hinata, the one in the middle is Yamanaka Ino, and the one on the right is Tiantian. You inquired very clearly. Shizune pursed her lips and smiled. Of course, I am your assistant. Single quote. Che, it's really cheap, this guy, all the village flowers in the village have been taken away by him. Strictly speaking, yes, this man is really capable, I admire him. Let's go, continue to work, don't bother him today, he looks like he is going to move, just give him some free time. In a few days, he must come over to help. Also, what about Jiraiya? He wants to escape. Apparently so. HMPH, it's really itchy, he wants to get me back, but he wants to escape, how is it possible, where is he now? I guess I should pack my things at home. Go, grab him. Jiraiya's home, Jiraiya is packing up. Well, things are almost done, and I should go out to find the Son of Destiny, and there is nothing to do in the village. I originally wanted to teach Uzumaki Naruto, but it turned out that this guy is better than him, which is very sad. I still go to find my inspiration, to find the real man of destiny, this is my mission. Yo, Jiraiya, where do you want to go? A joking voice came, and Tsunade pushed the door straight in, looking at Jiraiya calmly. Jiraiya froze. Oops, why did Tsunade come here? Haha, Tsunade, aren't you busy? Come find me when you have time. If I don't come again, you don't know where you are. Why, you want to slip away? Tsunade has no expression on his face, clenches his hands tightly, making a crackling sound, his voice is like biting cold wind. I need an explanation. Well, Tsunade, I really have something, you should know. Is it the boy who played with the tailed beast that you mentioned in the Great Toad Sage, the Son of Destiny? Anyway, you have been looking for it for so many years, but you haven't found it, maybe you haven't found it at all. But that's not the reason for you to escape. It was your bad idea to recruit me as a Hokage. As a result, I can only stay in Hokage's office to work. You guys are fine. One is wandering around with 3 girls. Talking and laughing, you want to go out to live a chic life, do you think it is possible? Tsunade's resentment broke out completely. It's been more than a day, more than a whole day, these 2 unscrupulous people haven't visited her once, and they are all doing their own things. It is tolerable or unbearable. I just want to ask you a question, can I help you? Help, sure, Jiraiya said righteously. As a teammate, I am really ashamed when you say this. Go now, let me see what things need to be busy. Counseling. No, this is called Kongshin. Can it be called cowardice when it comes to things from the heart? No. I just like to help Tsunade, the 5th Hokage, do what I can. With her head held high, Jiraiya strode towards Hokage's office with tears streaming down her face. My note contact, my dear heaven, my destiny, goodbye. You have successfully aroused the resentment of Senju Tsunade, the crit hit is 10 times stronger, and the spiritual body ability of spiritualization technique is enhanced. Naruto, who was preparing to move, paused, feeling a little dazed. What's wrong with Tsunade? What's the matter with all the resentment, who messed with him? Jiraiya, I see. Naruto Mingwu, only Jiraiya will be beaten, and the rest don't want to experience the power of strange power at all. Jiraiya, heaven and man too. Sure enough, you still need Tsunade to help Jiraiya, so you will obediently come over to help. Seeing Jiraiya walking in with his head held high, Sarutobi Hiruzen was very relieved. 1 took 2, Jiraiya did too, in order to find an excuse for himself to stay in Konoha village, let Tsunade find it back. This is really embarrassing him. Jiraiya, old man, you think too much, I just dare not fight with Tsunade, it has nothing to do with you. Tell me what you need me to do. Finish these documents. Not much, just a few 100 million. Tsunade smiled and held a large pile of documents and put them in front of Jiraiya, with a bang. Jiraiya's face turned green. I rely on, so much, the year of the monkey, the month of the horse can be done. Gone. If I had known this earlier, I shouldn't have gone to take a bath yesterday, but just fled in the dark. Let's see what's going on now. Old man, is your salary raised? Jiraiya poked her head out, her face very serious. Since you have to do things, there is always a salary. Uruka and the others pricked up their ears when they heard the words, and glanced at the past intentionally or unintentionally. That's right, it's time for a salary increase. After working for so long, I can't afford just such a small amount of money. Who can stand it? 3rd generation pointed to Tsunade. Don't ask me, you should ask Tsunade. Now I am just assisting Tsunade. She is already the Hokage of Konoha village. Quote. Well, 5th Hokage. Jiraiya and others looked at Tsunade. The corner of Tsunade's mouth twitched, and he nodded helplessly. Come on, work hard. Good. A lot of people laughed out loud. If you have a salary, you will be full of motivation. It seems that there are many opportunities to make money as a ninja, but that is the treatment only for very powerful ninjas. If they want to make progress, it will not be so easy. You also need to buy kunai yourself, and it consumes a lot of money during training, and it consumes a lot of food and use. They are ninjas who spend money like water. Their family is not rich, so they are naturally happy with the salary increase now. When I am happy, the office efficiency is much higher. It's long overdue. Kakashi fished as usual, curled his lips when he saw this scene, and sighed helplessly. Such days are finally coming to an end. When Hokage actually takes the throne and everything is on track, they will be much more relaxed and don't need to be so troublesome. They are working in full swing, and Naruto is also moving in full swing. Xianglin asked for a day off to help Naruto move because he heard that Naruto was coming back. Jiraiya and Bai also joined in. Naruto's home itself doesn't have many things, and many things are old and dilapidated. It's better to get a new one. Hinata suggested. Each of us pays a little, and the furniture will be ready soon. Makes sense. Ino clapped his hands and said, new home, new atmosphere, everything must bid farewell to the past and welcome a better life in the future. To tell you the truth, Naruto, these things of yours are really old, and the door of the refrigerator is damaged, please replace it. You look, I say a word. Soon several people finalize the process of moving. Most of them are sold to buy new ones, and the rest can be put in a room on the first floor, which can be used as a warehouse. It's all the same when sorted out. Naruto had nothing to do, so indifferently watched the three of them start buying furniture with great interest. Tisk. This is the feeling of eating soft rice, it's so delicious. Although Naruto was rich, he would not disturb the interest of the three of them, so he went there soon in the morning, and almost all the things were bought. Thanks to Ninja, these things install very quickly. In the morning, everything that needs to be moved has been moved, and everything that needs to be bought is complete. When I walk into my new home, it really looks brand new compared with yesterday. I made a decision. Dinner tonight, treat guests to dinner. Call everyone you know, and invite you to eat, barbecue. I thought you were going to treat us to ramen. Can't you? Hey, I have no objection, there must be more than Shikamaru and the others. Of course, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Shizune are all invited to have a carnival tonight. Naruto laughed. This is to celebrate their move to a new home. Soon, Naruto informed, and basically everyone agreed to come, even Tsunade. Jiraiya's eyes sparkled. It's not too much to have a meal, right? In the evening, in the barbecue restaurant of the Akatsuki family, Naruto directly reserved the second floor with pride, stood beside him and said loudly, today is the first day of my new house, I treat guests and drink. Good. Shikamaru and the others looked at Naruto with a smile, sincerely congratulating. Jiraiya and they sat in a corner. These adults and children couldn't talk together, so they huddled in a corner and watched this lively scene with a smile. It's so lively, Naruto's popularity is really good. Indeed, I heard you say that he thought his life in Konoha village was not good, but looking at it now, it is definitely not good, but there are so many friends here, right? This is the result of Naruto's own management, and it is also the result of his strength and sunshine. Jiraiya drank a glass of wine and sighed with emotion. Minato and the others should rest in peace, their children are very good. Sarutobi Hiruzen sat on the sidelines, watching this lively scene with a dazed expression. How long has he not seen such excitement? It's been a long time. Maybe, it's time for me to go home, teach that fool Konohamaru, and live a good old life by the way, instead of running around like I am now. When you are old, you really should go to rest and give more opportunities to young people. Sarutobi Hiruzen seems to want to open, laughing with a chrysanthemum. You have successfully aroused Sarutobi Hiruzen's emotion, the critical strike is tripled, and the monster meat +3 is obtained. Naruto paused, held his cup and walked over to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Old man, I wish you a long life and live a peaceful and beautiful life with Konoha every day. Puff. In front Sarutobi Hiruzen still looks gratified. Long life, who doesn't like it, but what do you mean by the last sentence? Sarutobi Hiruzen instantly thought of Naruto's bad performance and his experience of teaching Konohamaru badly, and took a deep breath. It's just scum. In the future, if I stay at home, I will see Konohamaru every day to challenge myself. Immediately, Konohamaru's seduction technique. Hiss. Sarutobi Hiruzen's hand holding the wine glass turned white slightly, and his happy mood was swept away. You don't want to open which pot and lift which pot, do you want to be so ruthless? Now Sarutobi Hiruzen trembles with fear when he thinks of Konohamaru. Watching those strange expressions and lure technique every day is simply a kind of torture. After a happy night, you sprinkle salt on the wound. He always felt that Naruto was just trying to get revenge on him. You have successfully aroused the infinite resentment in Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart. The critical strike has been multiplied by 1,000 times, and one of the 2 stars has been obtained. Here we go again. Naruto's eyes lit up. This is definitely a good thing, but it hasn't exploded for a long time. And now finally another one. 7 Dragon Balls have collected 3, and 4 can summon Shenlong. Although it seems that it is still early, as long as he works hard to crit, there will be a day when he can get it together, which he firmly believes. Watching the lively scene, Naruto was full of smiles. These are my best friends, and the days to come will be better. Nothing to say all night. There is always a banquet in the world. There have been many such gatherings, but this time it is more grand. When the grand dinner was over, Naruto returned home leisurely after everything was over. Looking at the appearance of the new home, looking at the brand new appearance, Naruto stood on the balcony, looking up at the cold moonlight, whispered, "New home, new atmosphere, the future will definitely be better. Sleep, tomorrow will be another beautiful day." Boom. The next day, an Anbu appeared in front of Naruto. He wore a mask and couldn't see his face clearly, but he said calmly, "Uzumaki Naruto, 5th generation is looking for you." "Tsunade looking for me?" Naruto was surprised. "Isn't she supposed to be at work this early in the morning? Why are you looking for me?" Naruto came to Hokage's office soon with suspicion. Just 1 street away, Naruto did not take an unusual path, jumping directly from the 3rd floor onto the roof tiles of Hokage's office, opened the window and walked in carelessly. "What's up?" Seeing such an unusual way of entering the office, Tsunade was immediately stunned. You successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's speechless emotions, tripled the critical strike, and obtained aura soil. You really don't take the usual path. Rubbing his temples, Gangsho said helplessly. You are also a ninja now, of course you have to share some things for the village, right? I'm not short of money now, can I stop being a ninja? Gone. Tsunade was furious, folded his hands, looked at Naruto coldly, his eyes narrowed dangerously. You say it again. It was you who brought me back, and it was you who put down the burden one by one. You are really good at it. Tsunade laughed angrily. Just kidding. Naruto fixed his eyes on the place where Tsunade's hands were encircled, raised his brows, hissed on such a scale. I can play for years. You are still young, I won't give you many things, and you don't understand. But you also have to help me share. Right now Konoha village is under construction everywhere, although it has been basically completed, but there are still many places that need help. Do you want to go? No, I might as well work here for you. Naruto shook his head resolutely. Don't underestimate me, I am always number 1 in ninja school, how will you know if you don't try? The most important thing is that you can see very beautiful scenery. Naruto admits that he likes these beautiful things and does not want to suppress them. This is his nature. Since he has strength, he must respect his heart. This is Naruto's inner thoughts. Alright, since you said so, then I'll be quicker. You help me sort out these task lists, and then arrange them. You just follow Iruka and he will teach you these. It should be easy for you. You have successfully aroused Tsunade's gratified emotions. The critical strike is 26 times, and the lifespan is +1. What cows and horses? Naruto's whole body was shocked, and his lifespan came out. This +1 is very spiritual. Naruto glanced at it, his heart shaking. Life. Take a year as a unit. It can prolong life. Note that this includes factors such as accidents and serious illnesses. I rely on. Naruto's eyes widened suddenly. This thing. Newbie, it means that some people will get sick or be killed by other ninjas this year. As long as they use this, they can live. Does that mean it's a good thing to avoid surprises? This time the accident or illness came suddenly, but after using it, it can be postponed for 1 year. If the accident is gone after 1 year, can I continue to live? What's this? Life-saving straw. The end is terrifying. The critical strike ability has become stronger again. It's really scary, and now even the lifespan can be critically struck. Naruto happily went to the quest hall to find Iruka with those quest sheets in his arms. Tsunade stared blankly at Naruto's leaving back. Shizune, did you see that? I saw. Shizune was also in a daze. Naruto seems very happy, but why? Isn't working hard. Boom. Tsunade slapped the table with a slap, with a smile on his face. See, this is a ninja with a positive attitude towards life. That's a good ninja in Konoha village. Command, everyone must learn this spirit like Naruto. Is this necessary? Shizune hesitated. If Naruto just had a whim, wouldn't it be a slap in the face if he quit in a few days? You're right. Tsunade came back to his senses and thought about what Shizune said was fine. If Naruto let go of the burden again, wouldn't it be a direct slap in the face? This is not acceptable. You successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's tangled emotions. The critical strike was 11 times, and you got the boots of quick steps. Naruto, who was heading to the mission hall, glanced. Swift boots. Magic weapon. Wear it and you can feel the wind. Naruto. Confirmed. This is a shoe with weak acceleration like clothes. The magic weapon that is exposed now is basically a joke. It doesn't have much effect, but with body flicker technique, should have a good effect. Tsunade, 5th Hokage. In the land of rain, Obito looked at the rain curtain with an uncertain expression on his face. Naruto's strength caught him off guard, and Tsunade's return is not a good thing. Why these things have to come together? I have an amazing idea, but I'm afraid Nagato will kill me. Ju suddenly appeared next to Obito, and said depressedly, do you think I should express this idea? Obito was taken aback for a moment. What do you think? Nagato is easy to talk to, what are you afraid of? Single quote. Scratching his head, he smiled, and expressed his inner thoughts. What did you say? The moment Ju spoke out his inner thoughts, Obito was stunned and stared straight at Ju, as if he was looking at an alien. You really want to court death? After a long time, Obito finally regained his composure, and gave him an annoyed look. You can even come up with such a bad idea, no matter how you think about it. Didn't I see the interaction between Naruto and Tsunade? Ju chuckled. You don't know, this time I followed them from a distance and saw what, Naruto is really a little pervert, hurrying back with Tsunade to show off. Tisk, this Tsunade doesn't even think about how old he is. Any questions? Obito has no expression on his face. I have that ninjutsu in Tsunade. She just looks like a mature woman, and she is still at the same age. It is only natural for a young Mui. The problem is big. There are 3 Narutos in the village, right? So I'm sure, this Uzumaki Naruto hero is not a beauty, and our Akatsuki organization has only 1 woman. Fortunately she is very beautiful. So you hit her attention, you are crazy. Obito doesn't mind doing this kind of thing. He even plots against his teacher and wife, even Uchiha. It's just a Konan, he doesn't care. But the key is to pass the Nagato level. Obito believes that Nagato will never pass this test, because Konan and Nagato Yahiko grew up together. Do you think Nagato will let Konan take this risk? Maybe go and never come back. I'm also doing this for the big plan of the Shao organization. Absolute justice. Just, 223, even if he disagrees, there is no reason to kill me. I think you're going to die. You're really brave. Who gave you the courage? My escaping skills are top-notch. If Nagato really breaks out, I can go outside and hide for a while. I think Nagato will understand my thoughts. Even if he disagrees, he should know that I love Akatsuki deeply. So, I have nothing to show for it. Also, Obito, it's not that I'm willing to take risks, but Uzumaki Naruto's growth is too fast. Do you know what I saw when I followed Naruto? I saw that Naruto can also use strange force technique. He should be the type of ninja like 2nd generation. How to say? 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama. You should know that he has created a lot of ninjutsu in his life, but Naruto also has this talent, but he likes to create other people's ninjutsu. Such as Rasengan, such a strange power. I can roughly guess that he must have heard it from somewhere and started to create it, and it was finally perfectly restored by him. Naruto, so scary. So there are too many variables to wait for another 2 years, but before we are ready, I think this is the safest way. Obito was shocked, and then looked at Ju, with a slight frown. You don't seem very surprised. Follow Mrs. Madara, I've seen a lot of geniuses and monsters this day, so I don't feel anything, I just feel a little annoyed, which is not good for our plan. If you say so, it's true that this method is good, so go ahead and talk about it. You won't come with me. I'm just a non-staff member. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Anyway, you said that your escape ability is top-notch, so I'll just sit and wait for your success. Depend on. Ju cursed secretly in his heart, but he also knew that this matter was indeed the case, so he could only run away holding his nose. He's going to find Nagato. It's so brave, it's a good idea. Watching Ju leave, Obito looked relaxed, and if Uzumaki Naruto really said what Uzumaki Naruto said, Konan's cold expression appeared in Obito's mind. Well, it does look beautiful. With the best information, there will be no mistakes. In this way, this idea is very promising. After all, no one has seen Konan either. Leader. Absolutely is also a vigorous and resolute person. After talking over there, he came to the Akatsuki organization base and found Nagato, who was dozing off. Is there something wrong? Nagato raised his eyes, a little strange. Aren't you collecting information everywhere? By the way, what happened to the information collected by Uzumaki Naruto? Roughly the same. Ju grinned. He looks very sunny on the outside, but his grievances are clear. The most important thing is that he is as horny as Jiraiya third-generation Sarutobi Hiruzen. A common problem among men. Nagato lowered his eyebrows. This is not the case for most strong people with strength, but Naruto is a little special, he is a big kid. It's the same to go to Tsunade this time. Ju told Nagato what he saw on the road. Konan on the side raised his head and blinked, so 6. Yeah, that's how domineering. Tsunade lost his temper by him, so he had to follow them back to Konoha village. So you found me to explain something. Nagato was surprised. This is not good news for us, on the contrary it is a kind of bad news, so the good news you said is. Little color batch. Excited. We can make a fuss about this. Quote. Nagato looked at Ju blankly. He suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart. Yes, Konan, she is so beautiful, she can strike up a conversation, and then take the opportunity to collect information, and 2 years later we can launch a thunderbolt to sweep all the Jinchuriki. Nagato's face darkened immediately, and he roared, Shenluo Tianzhong. Boom. The entire house vibrated in unison, astonishing energy fluctuations spread outward. Konan was also dumbfounded. Eating the melon on her body was something she hadn't thought of in Wanwan, so she just watched this scene indifferently. In her opinion, it was absolutely courting death. If possible, she would also like to make a move. Who the hell would have such a nasty idea? It's absolutely amazing. Cough cough cough. I said leader, I'm just the one who comes up with ideas and gathers information, so you don't need it. With lingering fear, Ju came back from the outside again, and said helplessly, this suggestion is the best suggestion I can think of, as for whether you accept it or not, leader, that is your business. Door. Long. This person is a rabbit, and he runs really fast. But when Yan also had to admit that this idea is really wonderful, if it were someone else, he would definitely agree, but for Konan, it is absolutely impossible. I go. Suddenly, Konan's eyes flashed, said decisively, for the undocumented by the Shao organization. Konan you. Nagato looked at Konan suddenly. He never thought that Konan would answer like this. This is to go to that little pervert, this is to feed the tiger with his body. I disagree. Konan's expression was full of tenderness. Nagato, I know you are doing it for my own good, but I am also a member of the Akatsuki organization, so I should do something for the Akatsuki organization, right? You are the housekeeper, and all the money is yours. Who will do this when you leave? Nagato made an excuse casually, but he didn't agree anyway. This point can be handed over to Kakuzu, he is definitely a master of financial management. You shut up. Nagato was trembling with anger. It was the bad idea of you fool, and now Konan is going to leave me, although it's only 2 years, don't you know how dangerous that situation is? This is a sheep entering the tiger's mouth. Absolutely not. I said, leader, are you thinking too much? Never dissatisfied. How old is Uzumaki Naruto? 12 years old. So do you think he has that ability? Even if he has this ability 2 years from now, we will be ready. Wouldn't it be nice if you connected Konan as soon as possible? What's the trouble with this? With the wisdom of Miss Konan, it's impossible to settle a kid. Nagato, you said it lightly, feelings are not your friends who have lived and died together since childhood, right? Nagato cursed inwardly. I'm scolding, and I'm also scolding Uzumaki Naruto, it's this little color wholesaler who came up with such bad ideas. Konan was also moved. But I have to say, what I said is very reasonable, the current Uzumaki Naruto does not have much ability, and it seems good to be an undercover agent. And Konan has a very big advantage, that is Jiraiya. Nagato, don't worry, I'm a ninja too, right? Why? Looking at the determined Konan, Nagato always felt that Konan would never return, probably an illusion, but he really didn't want Konan to take risks. It's a pity, Konan's will is also very firm, since things that have been decided will naturally not be taken back. It just so happens that Konoha village Jiraiya teacher is also there, you can use this as a springboard to get close to Uzumaki Naruto, and Jiraiya teacher should not put you in a dangerous situation. Nagato began to figure out how to let Konan enter Konoha village in the safest way. In the end, it turned out that Jiraiya cannot be bypassed. It seems that you are going to meet teacher Jiraiya in advance. Isn't this great? It's been so many years since I was a child, and I really want to see teacher Jiraiya. Even if they disagree, Jiraiya is also his most respected teacher. But on the road to success, no one can stop it. For the dream, because of this world, all the moths that stand in the way will be burned. It won't work if Jiraiya-sensei comes to stop them. That's fine. In the end, Nagato sighed and agreed to Konan's request, but he still said sternly, if you can't do it, withdraw quickly. Quote. No, Konan smiled and looked at Ju. Absolutely. Well, I'm fine, you guys discuss it slowly. Well, you got kicked out, I said Nagato can't agree, you have to go. Feeling that Ju appeared beside him, Obito felt a little gloating about the huge movement just now. Even the red sand scorpion, who was obsessed with research, poked his head out to look at it. You can imagine how big the movement was just now. To be honest, Obito was a little surprised to appear in front of him intact. Yeah, he was adamantly against it, but nope, Konan himself agreed. What did you say? Obito was taken aback, a little in disbelief. She dares to go on such a dangerous mission. Naruto is really dangerous, didn't you make it clear? Is it dangerous? Ju shook his head. The current Naruto is the most harmless, God knows if he will be like Jiraiya when he grows up. No, worse than Jiraiya. What you said seems to make sense. Obito was thoughtful when he heard the words, and he still remembered that when he saw Lin, he didn't seem to have any feelings at that time, he simply liked it. Lin. Obito looked at the rain curtain and continued to be in a daze. You have successfully aroused Uchiha Obito's disgusted emotion, the critical strike is 30 times, and the Kamui space is obtained. You have successfully aroused the situation that absolutely plans to plot against you. Shu, critical hit 35 times, get monster meat. You successfully aroused Konan's curiosity about you, the critical strike was 40 times, and you got the dance of paper. You successfully aroused Nagato's furious emotions, 1,000 times the critical strike, and obtained an enchantment and a protective shield. Naruto, who is spending his days leisurely in Konoha village, has a question mark on his face. What did I do to cause all of you from far and wide to plot against me? Absolute calculation, Konan's curiosity, Nagato's rage. Hiss. Naruto took a deep breath. There seems to be a lot of information here. Naruto's brainstorm exploded, and he immediately thought of many possibilities, but he never thought that Konan would come. This information is insufficient and too unreal. Forget it, the soldiers will block the water and cover it with the earth. With my current strength, I can deal with many things. I'm afraid of a ball. Naruto quickly ignored these, but looked to Iruka aside. What's wrong, Naruto? It's nothing, it's just that these tasks have finally been dispatched, and we can relax a bit. You really came to help, I thought you would dismiss it with your temper. I'm just here to experience it, and I won't do it in a few days. Naruto spread his hands. Do you want to experience life, Mr. Uruka, are you right? Uruka smiled wryly. Naruto is really good. He eats soft food with confidence, and now he is not short of money at all, and the three women often come to the door with things. It's all over Konoha village. The weird thing is that Hyuga Hiyashi and the others didn't care about it at all, which is awesome. They have already begun to fantasize about the future. Naruto grows up and marries 3 daughters-in-law. Jealousy, envy, hate, yeah, it's time to relax. Uruka looked at Naruto, and suddenly remembered that when school started, he argued with third-generation Sarutobi Hiruzen not to look like Naruto, and a smile could not help but be drawn on the corner of his mouth. You have successfully aroused the emotion recalled by Uruka. The critical hit is 19 times the teaching ability plus 1. Naruto. And at this time, true to his word, Konan is getting ready to go. Konan, are you going this way? Ju and Obito stood aside and watched Konan pack his luggage, while Nagato watched blankly, with some reluctance in his eyes. This trip is 2 years. I don't know how many things will happen in these 2 years. He really doesn't want Konan to go. It's just that Konan is also stubborn, and this matter is really beneficial to the Shao organization, so she insists on going. Hey, I can never refuse your idea. Nagato sighed. When you go, protect yourself and remember to find Jiraiya. Well, so how does that go? Konan nodded, and looked at Jue Obito again, with a questioning look in his eyes. Obito shook his head. He didn't quite understand this. Didn't Lin put oil paint on her face every day back then, and he also thought it looked good, but he didn't know about other people, and he didn't have any ideas. In his eyes, Lin is everything. Wazy thinks that he knows Naruto and men very well. After living for so many years, he has seen many things, so he begins to comment. First, this nail can be removed. You don't think anything, but others think it's ugly. Ju pointed to the nail on Konan's chin, and then said, Naruto often said something, oh, yes, it's black and straight. In the end, Hinata and the others started to dress up like this. It means long hair and a slender figure. I don't understand it, but it does look much better. Of course, we don't have to be unique, just dress normally. The flower on the hair is not very pretty. Naruto probably doesn't like it very much, and I have to wear fishing nets. Obito. Konan. The corners of Nagato's mouth twitched, saying this in front of me, you're so itchy, aren't you? Ju didn't feel Nagato's murderous intent at all, and he was still telling his own thoughts. Well, this is actually almost the same. To appear pure, charming, and exude your charm, this is more than half of the success, isn't it? I think Naruto will definitely strike up a conversation when he sees you. He is such a small pervert. Suck. I'm not angry. Naruto, a brat, won't. Nagato inhaled, feeling very aggrieved. I thought he often boasted about the existence of the god of the ninja world, but he had to do this to carry out the plan safely, which was too embarrassing. That's about it. The distance is too far, and Naruto's perception ability is also very scary. It's inconvenient for me to get close. I only know a rough idea of many things. You need to find out the specifics by yourself. I'm leaving, don't worry, I will often hand over the information to Ju, and then Ju will hand it over to you. Konan was silent, then nodded silently. For a better world in the future, for Nagato, for Yahiko, and for the Akatsuki organization, such a task is not difficult, why not? Konan smiled confidently, glamorous and moving. Absolutely, you can reduce the frequency of collecting information recently. Anyway, it's the final preparations, the rest of the people are nothing special, just Naruto, you need to pay more attention. By the way, if nothing can be done, if Konan is in danger, take her away as soon as possible. I believe you have the strength. Nagato looked at Ju sternly. You made it up, and he doesn't mind cleaning up the fool if he never gives him a perfect answer. This huge killing intent, but I don't care. Ju shrugged and said with a smile, I promise to complete the task. Just kidding, this is indeed a crucial task and an integral part of his plan. He has to collect information on Uzumaki Naruto and then make a plan. After fighting for 2 years, Uzumaki Naruto must be eradicated first. Besides, this person is too dangerous and has grown significantly. Naruto is not dead, he is not at ease. Like Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara before. Didn't he also plot them to death, and this time is no exception. Uzumaki Naruto, live well, your girlfriends can only take advantage of the old king next door. Never sneer. After Konan was ready, he set off alone, and Nagato watched him leave with an ugly expression on his face. Obito and Ju retreat quietly. It's better not to sprinkle salt on the wound now, the best way is to let him be alone, otherwise he will hit the muzzle of the gun and take another blow from Shinluo Tianzhong. That's not pretty. When Kakuzu came back, he had a question mark on his face. What happened? Where is Konan? What about my money? Konan has a secret mission to go out for 2 years, and the money is with me. From now on, you will be the finance minister of our Shao organization, and you will be in charge of some money. Real. Kakuzu's eyes widened in disbelief. Happiness came so suddenly that he couldn't react. He was super obsessed with money, of course he wanted to be in charge of Akatsuki's financial power, but Konan couldn't turn to him there. Now Konan goes out to do secret missions, and the financial power is directly handed over to his subordinates. Ah, this. I am very blessed. Kakuzu was almost dizzy with happiness, and looked at Nagato with bright eyes. Nagato looked disgusted, but still handed over the money and handed it to Kakuzu. Kakuzu took the papers with trembling hands. These papers are a lot of money, and the weight is very large. Kakuzu packed them carefully, then patted his chest and said to himself, I will definitely live up to the expectations of the organization. Everything is left to you. Nagato lamented. The next 2 years will be very important, so you have to work harder. Don't worry, as long as there is a question about money, I will leave everything to me. Absolutely. Obito, I don't know where Konan is now. Nagato's tone suddenly changed, he was a little worried, and looked at Ju very unkindly. He is very angry when he sees this pitcher plant now. Tsunade is a 5th-generation project, which is really strange. In Yinin village, in the laboratory, Yakushi Kabuto handed the news to Orochimaru, and Orochimaru sat on the throne and looked at the news in his hand in amazement. Konoha village is starting to get back on track again, and our plans don't seem to have had much of an impact. You can't say that, this is a similar result for me, very good. But I'm just curious, how Tsunade would be willing to go back to be Hokage. She is the one who is most afraid of trouble. This time I can be called back by Jiraiya and Naruto, which is something I didn't expect. Well, I've heard a gossip, but I haven't verified the specifics yet. What news? Tsunade was carried back by Naruto. Oh ha ha. Orochimaru laughed nervously. This really catches me off guard. It's funny, Tsunade must be ashamed and angry. I guess so. Boom. Suddenly, the door was pushed open, and Sasuke walked in indifferently, looking straight at Orochimaru, with a flat voice, training. Tet, Yakushi Kabuto. This is an ancestor. You have successfully aroused Orochimaru's excitement. The critical strike is 35 times, and the duration of Sage Mode is +1. You have successfully aroused Yakushi Kabuto's curiosity, tripled the critical strike, and obtained Aura Soil. Naruto looked up at the sky. Although they are not wandering in the ninja world now, they are still paying attention to themselves. This is the benefit of being famous, and critical strikes are everywhere. Spiritual clay. Back home, Naruto started digging a small field by the edge of the yard with a hoe. He plans to focus on cabbage to try. Naruto, what are you doing? Zabujan and Bai, who were training, saw this scene and were curious. Grow vegetables. Yes. Naruto spread the aura soil, then sprinkled the seeds, and waited for them to take root and germinate to see what was unusual. Naruto didn't bother to use wood style, just let them grow naturally. No more chopping and by me and face to face. How did Naruto think about growing vegetables? Instead of planting those weird flowers, why not focus on edible vegetables like cabbage? Don't they look good? Nice. After thinking about it again, it is true that a small piece of land outside some people's houses looks very beautiful when planted with vegetables, not much worse than those with flowers and plants. By the way, where is little Pingan? I went to play with Akamaru. Bai pursed his lips and smiled. Now these two dogs have a very good relationship. Brotherhood. Dog love must be very interesting. Hey, no more chopping. He smiled. I want to see it too, but unfortunately I have seen Chimaru, it is public. It's a pity on this point. I also complained about why Inuzuka didn't keep a fool, and he chased and killed him for 3 streets. I've heard of this, and this may be the brightest moment in his life. The three looked at each other and laughed at the same time. This Naruto is really leisurely. Hearing the loud laughter, Tsunade stood at the window and shook his head helplessly. Although he is not very busy now, this guy really quit. Shizune, what you said at the time was right, this guy is hot for 3 minutes. Isn't that great? Maybe. By the way, have you picked someone to go to Tsunagaku? It has been picked out, led by Naruluju, to Tsunagaku to negotiate. This time we must bite a piece of their meat. You're right, this time it must make them feel the pain. Let's go to the casino. It's rare to be free today. A Hokage, should also take a proper rest. All right. Shizune was helpless, but also knew that Master Tsunade's hands were really itchy, and it's not a big problem to indulge a little time. Anyway, she has a lot of money. After becoming a Hokage, I didn't have much time to play, so I finally managed to make some money. So good. Yo, Jiraiya, what are you doing hanging around here? Find inspiration. Squatting on the edge of the bathhouse, Jiraiya held a pen in her mouth, curled her lips when she heard this. Are you going to the casino? Yeah, it's rare to rest, but you're too weak, just go in. What are you doing in there? I just like this hazy feeling, which can inspire me. You are really unique. I remember you still want to find the Son of Destiny. You have been wandering around for so many years. Do you have a goal? Since seeing Z coming, Tsunade was not in a hurry, and simply chatted with Jiraiya. I don't have any free time these days, I'm busy with my own business, and I haven't chatted much. Now I just happened to meet, so I just chatted. I thought it was Minato before, but it wasn't. Tsunade, do you remember when I was in Rain Shinobi Village? Remember? How could it be possible not to remember? It was there that the name of our legendary Sannin was achieved. It is really ironic to think about it now. I taught 3 kids there at the time. Their names were Nagato, Yahiko, Konan. Among them, Yahiko is very charismatic, Nagato is also talented, and so is Konan. They are all good boys. Son, I remember. Tsunade's eyes moved slightly. The 3 were almost killed by her and Orochimaru, but Jiraiya interceded and lived there to teach the 3. Speaking of Jiraiya at the time, it was really naive. Also now, I don't know how they are now. I also wondered if Yahiko is the boy who played with the tailed beast. Haha, isn't it a bit silly? This is your dream, right? To find the boy who plays with the tailed beast, the Son of Destiny, to change this imperfect world, you think? Tsunade stared at Jiraiya. Among them, Jiraiya has not lost her way, and has been firmly moving towards her goal. Even after so many years, even if many people don't think there is such a person, he still perseveres and never gives up. I have always believed in the prophecies of the great Toad Sage, and I have always believed that I can find him. Jiraiya was emphatic. I think it's just a matter of timing. The boy who played with the tailed beast. Shizune suddenly raised his head and asked, could it be Naruto? Didn't you say he will be in Nine Tails chakra mode? Boom. Like a bolt from the blue, it hit Jiraiya and Tsunade directly in their hearts. That's right, Naruto is a Jinchuriki, he can even use Nine Tails chakra mode, and he is so powerful, if he can't change the world. Hiss. Jiraiya took a deep breath and muttered to himself, why didn't I think of this in the first place? Naruto, could it be God's will? It's God's will. Looking at Jiraiya, Tsunade, who was a little bewildered, he was surprised. What's wrong with you? Jiraiya silently took out a book from the ninja bag and handed it over. Tsunade took it and looked down, his face darkened. This book is astonishingly the heaven of intimacy. Chapter 91. Jiraiya, your skin is itchy, aren't you? Tsunade snorted coldly. What do you mean by giving me this book? Now who in the ninja world doesn't know what kind of book is the meaning of kissing heaven? This guy actually handed me this book in broad daylight. What is his intention? No, listen to me. When I wrote this book, there was a meaning in it. Later, the Minato couple also named their child Naruto. And the protagonist of my book, Naruto, is also a savior. Do you think it's too coincidental? When you say that, Tsunade pondered. It seems to be a bit too coincidental. I didn't notice it before. This is probably the so-called dark under the lamp. Now that Shizune has pointed it out, I suddenly discovered that Naruto may really be the so-called Destiny's Child. Look at Naruto, evildoer, right? But after so many years in the ninja world, are there still few monsters? First Hokage, second Hokage, and Kakashi, Uchiha Itachi, etc., which one is not a monster, first generation does not mention, can the rest be compared with Naruto? I don't know where I learned the Sage mode, but it looks like Mount Myoboku, and the Nine Tails Chakra mode is even more shocking and powerful. The most important thing is his age and status. 12 years old, Nine Tails Jinchuriki, these two identities. Jiraiya felt that she was really gone bad, and hadn't thought of this for so long. Shizune still needs to point it out now. I feel more and more that Naruto is the so-called Destiny's Child, a boy who plays with tailed beasts. I think so. Tsunade nodded. They are called the legendary Sannin, and they are very powerful, but Naruto will torture them to death when they are not in use. So what if you use your whole cards? Naruto also has Sage mode, and Nine Tails Chakra mode. It still doesn't work. If you can't beat it or you can't beat it, this is the gap. There is such a big difference in age, but the difference in talent between people is so big. No, I'm going to the Great Toad Sage to ask if Uzumaki Naruto is the son of destiny. If so, then half of my mission has been completed. If not, keep looking. If it is, I think Master Jiraiya is going to break down. Tsunade and Jiraiya looked over together, and instantly understood what Shizune said. Jiraiya's face darkened. Yes, I have been looking for the son of destiny for so long, but I never thought that he is living in Konoha village, and he is still foolishly wandering around outside. He won't have any regrets because of the love of heaven, but he will always feel a little irritable. Obviously far away in the sky, close in front of my eyes, but I insist on wandering outside. Thinking about it makes me feel very depressed. Tsunade chuckled. Actually, it's okay, at least I found it, right, I lost one of my future goals and dreams. Yeah, you're right, Tsunade, go play first, I'll go to Mount Myoboku. Well, tell me the result when you come back. Tsunade waved her hand. She was also very curious about whether Uzumaki Naruto was the son of destiny predicted by the Great Toad Sage, the boy who played with the tailed beast. If so, it's interesting. If not, there seems to be no difference. Does this matter now? At least it doesn't matter to Tsunade, because she is Hokage after all, responsible for Konoha village. It would be very troublesome if the son of destiny appeared in other places, or even in other villages. If possible, Tsunade would rather not know about the existence of the so-called Destiny Child. It's an eventful autumn. Watching Jiraiya leave, Tsunade sighed. She was out of the mood now, and waved her hand. Go back. Stop going to the casino. Is there any mood to go in this situation now? I just wait in the office and wait for Jiraiya to come back. Quote. You have successfully aroused Jiraiya's shocking emotions, and you have been hit 10,000 times, and you have been awarded the title, Tour of Destiny. You successfully aroused Tsunade's tangled emotions, 100 times the critical strike, and obtained the improved version of the 100 healings mark. Naruto, I rely on 10,000 times, this seems to be the first time it has appeared, and what kind of strange thing is this Destiny Child? I glanced at it casually. Son of Destiny, title. Wearing it, you can become the son of destiny of a planet or a continent, with luck, wishes come true, etc. In short, there are many benefits, but also great responsibilities. Isn't this a proper protagonist template? Naruto curled his lips. I have a crit system, so what about the protagonist template? Can the growth keep up with my speed? It's impossible. So this thing is tasteless in the eyes of Naruto. It looks very strong, but it is just like that. If you don't have a crit system, you can wear it, but if you have a crit system, you can become stronger by eating, drinking and having fun. Why should you wear this thing? Depend on. There is also some kind of responsibility in wearing it. Naruto even had reason to suspect that the alleged responsibility was to stop Otsutsuki Kagaya. Or those strange Otsutsuki people who come to harvest chakra in the future, how tiring it is. Forget it. Put it aside first, or just wear it for someone else. Naruto thought about it again. This is definitely a good thing for others. Wear it for someone to let him charge into the battle, while he cheers on the side and cheers. Wouldn't it be flattering? If there is a son of destiny, will there be such terrifying Kunyao as the protagonist of heaven and earth, the son of luck, the son of Jiwan? Or a son of the universe? They are all noble and terrifying existences. Naruto just fantasized about them, it is unknown if there are any. Even if there is, unless it is the real son of the era and the son of the universe, it is really not attractive to Naruto. Speaking of which, maybe it's because of my time travel that my luck has been tilted. Is there such a thing as luck in the ninja world? I don't understand. Naruto ignored it, but looked at another good thing. The re-improved version of 100 Healings Mark. Taking a closer look, Naruto's mouth twitched. Isn't this just adding some functions, but this function is quite interesting. Tsunade's 100 Healings Mark is a diamond-shaped symbol on the forehead, but this improved version is not limited to this, but can be in any form. It doesn't matter if you make the texture so faint it's almost invisible. Well, it looks pretty good. This 100 Healings Mark can be given to Hinata and the others to improve their combat ability. It's been a long time since I saw the three of them, and I don't know what they are doing. Mount Myoboku. Jiraiya suddenly appeared on a rock in Mount Myoboku, swiped and almost fell, but fortunately Jiraiya reacted quickly and used chakra to stabilize her body. Yo, little Jiraiya, long time no see. I said, can reverse summoning be a little more secure every time? It's very unsafe. You little Jiraiya is still afraid of this. Fukasaku pouted. Tell me, what do you want to do this time? You kid won't come to visit us old guys if you have nothing to do. You really don't have any idea of respecting the old and loving the young. Shima immortal, Shenzuo immortal. Jiraiya said hello, I'm here this time for the Destiny's sake. What, you found the child of destiny? No, but guesswork, so come and ask Great Toad Sage. I have some guesses, that's fine, come with me. Fukasaku Shima and the two sages looked at each other with serious eyes. Jiraiya never targets indiscriminately, this time it won't be for real, right? Probably. The two Toad Sages suddenly became excited. Destiny's son, this is just like the original first Hokage Senju Hashirama, but in a sense, he is stronger than Senju Hashirama. Right, go, find the Great Toad Sage immediately. The two jumped onto Jiraiya's shoulders at once. Jiraiya didn't dare to neglect seeing this, and went straight to the Great Toad Sage's residence. Mount Myoboku is indeed a mountain, and the place where the Great Toad Sage lives is the highest peak. Above is a plain that has been flattened, and a very huge palace is built on it. When you enter the palace, the inside is empty, except for a huge body sitting there with half-closed eyes. This is a super big toad, and Jiraiya was taken aback when he first saw the Great Toad Sage. He never thought that there are such big toads in this world. And at the beginning, the toad claimed that he had lived for thousands of years. Gone, such a long life. But now he was very calm when he saw the Great Toad Sage, and let Fukasaku Shima and the two fairy toads call Great Toad Sage. Well, not long after, the Great Toad Sage opened his misty eyes, looked at Fukasaku Shima, and finally fixed his eyes on Jiraiya. Jiraiya, is there another news this time? I have a guess, I don't know if it is correct, so I came here to ask. Hehe, Jiraiya, I told you at the beginning that the future is changeable, and this time I am also confused. Ah, Jiraiya was dumbfounded. You are a fairy, why are you confused? Because just now, the scene I saw changed and became very strange. For a while, it was a teenager playing with a tailed beast. A pair of strange temple-sized eyes watched Ninja. Minister, the two types are interchangeable, and I don't know what's going on. After all, I can only see some fragments of the future, and I can't clearly see what the future will look like. As for what you guess, you need to find the answer yourself. Single quote. I see. Jiraiya smiled wryly. He thought he could get all the definite answers this time, but he didn't expect that Great Toad Sage still had this sentence, which had nothing new. However, the person Jiraiya values must be very good. Who is he? Uzumaki Naruto. It's him. Fukasaku Shima was surprised when he heard the words, and nodded. If it is him, we also think it is very possible. Quote. Uzumaki Naruto, who is it? Hearing the Great Toad Sage's inquiry, Jiraiya quickly told what happened in Konoha village. It's really amazing, a great person, no wonder you can get Jiraiya's appreciation. Perhaps you can take a good look. I will. Jiraiya nodded. Since everything has to be found and observed by himself, Naruto is his first object of observation. Because he really can't think of anyone who is more suitable to be the Destiny's Child than Naruto. I really can't imagine who else is most qualified to be the son of Destiny. Jiraiya left. He didn't get the answer he wanted, so he planned to find it by himself. Great Toad Sage, can't you really see? Cannot see. Noodle. Facing Fukasaku Shima's suspicious eyes, Great Toad Sage said weakly, the future is a fog, and many clips have changed beyond recognition. Only those eyes and that boy playing with the tailed beast. I don't know the exact details. All right. Fukasaku Shima looked at each other, and was about to continue talking when he saw a bubble popping out of Great Toad Sage's nostril, and fell asleep again. Riff. Shima. Why? Forget it, come again next time. Hello Qian Wang. You have successfully aroused the curiosity of Shenzuo Immortal, 10 times the critical strike, obtained the fairy art, and the cry of frogs. You successfully aroused the curiosity of Immortal Zima, the critical strike was 8 times, and the water of spiritual energy was obtained. You successfully aroused the curiosity of Great Toad Sage, the critical strike was 30 times, and the prophecy in the dream was obtained. Naruto. Frogs, do you want me to learn how to cry frogs in battle? No, aren't they toads? No matter how they are called frogs, they should be called toads. After entertaining himself, Naruto ignored the water of spiritual energy, and his eyes were fixed on the ability of prophecy in dreams. If he remembers correctly, this ability is unique to the Great Toad Sage. Prophecy in the dream. Occasionally, the prophecy technique will be launched in sleep, and a fragment of the future will be seen, and the fragments are scattered. Actually, it doesn't have much effect, just treat it as an interesting dream. The corner of Naruto's mouth twitched. Your explanation seems to be an interesting dream, but Naruto's self-feeling really doesn't have much effect. But the Great Toad Sage, a monster that has lived for thousands of years, does have something unique, but it is too old, and now it is estimated that it can't move the rain when it lies there. This is also a well-known existence, maybe it can be used for crit strikes. Naruto was thinking about how to go to Mount Myoboku, when Jiraiya was taken to the office by the Anbu ninja sent by Tsunade as soon as Jiraiya returned. Tell me, what do you gain? Jiraiya shook her head. There is nothing to gain, but this time there are new changes. What? Terrifying eyes. Tsunade's expression became serious instantly, and he exchanged a glance with Jiraiya, and almost at the same time, he thought of a certain picture, a certain person. Mangekyo Sharingan, you mean Itachi? Probably, there is no good news, how can we possibly guess it? Tsunade tapped his fingers on the table, and nodded after a long time. That's how it is, who knows what will happen in the future, maybe the Great Toad Sage is talking about good things instead of bad things. 1. It's no use guessing here. Living in the moment. You're right, Jiraiya stretched her waist. I don't plan to go out during this time, just observe Naruto in Konoha village, and write my masterpiece by the way. Great bullshit, isn't that the kind of book it is? Roll roll roll. Goodbye, you are busy. Jiraiya jumped straight from the window on the second floor of Hokage's office. Tsunade raised his brows. Jiraiya, like Naruto, did not take the usual way. If you don't take a good way, you have to jump out of the window. Although this is indeed very close, the impact is not good. Master Tsunade. At this time, Shizune came over with a large stack of documents. Tsunade stared straight at his hair. Why are there so many documents? A lot. This is much less than the previous few days. Hey, I'm really sorry, the old man from third generation is now enjoying the blessings, teaching Konohamaru at home every day. But Konohamaru is also amazing, the third generation has been immune to it. Tsunade recalled the transformation technique that Konohamaru used when he was a guest at the third generation's house last time, which is said to be taught by Uzumaki Naruto. This Uzumaki Naruto, well done. Tsunade smiled and began to organize the files. Now that you have become this Hokage, you must make it as perfect as possible. Sigh, here you come. Yes, Lord Danzo, your strength is not bad in the youth area, so I intend to recommend you to enter the 7th class. Remember, I want all information about Uzumaki Naruto. Looking at the base of the root, Danzo looked at the pale ghost-like Sai in front of him and said lightly, your task is this one. Clear. Sai nodded, the task was not difficult for him. He has also heard of Naruto's strength, but so what, everything is for the mission. Recently, you should prepare well, and I will go tell 5th generation right now. Danzo is expressionless. He planned to contact Orochimaru again, and the two joined forces to make something happen. He was not reconciled to Tsunade taking Hokage's position like this. He is not young anymore. Even if he is Hokage, he will not be there for a few years, and if Tsunade does not abdicate, he will not have a chance at all. Since there is no opportunity, create an opportunity yourself. Opportunities will only be reserved for those who are prepared. I must complete my goal this time. Tsunade, I'm sorry. Abdicate. You have successfully caused Shimura Danzo to calculate your emotions. The critical strike is 5 times, and the power of wind-style great breakthrough has been strengthened. You successfully aroused Sai's curiosity about you. Triple the critical strike, obtained ninja skills, super beast fake paintings. Naruto, who is cutting the monster meat and preparing to have dinner with Hinata and the others at night, gave a slight meal, sigh. The kid with the smirk. It seems that Danzo is really unwilling to give up and wants to pull Sai into the 7th class. I don't know what this guy is going to do to get Tsunade to join the 7th class. Speaking of which, Class 7 hasn't done missions together for a long time. Little Sakura was depressed during the dinner together last time. It seems that Sasuke's departure has dealt a great blow to her. Ms. Kakashi doesn't know what she's doing these days. Naruto suddenly realized that he seemed to have overlooked many things. Shikamaru and the others haven't visited them recently. It shouldn't be. They are all friends, and you should go to them to contact them in your leisure time to get in touch with each other. Feelings fade away after a long time. Well, it's decided, I'll go find them tomorrow. Naruto continued to wave his hands, cutting the monster meat on the brick. I'm coming. How long did it take? Tiantian rang the doorbell, pushed the door open, and just saw Naruto cutting meat and couldn't help smiling. Is this meat again today? I can only take out this thing, and you don't lack the rest. I don't really care about it. This meat is delicious and tastes great, and when it is paired with the water of spiritual energy, the effect is in a mess. Tian touched his face and said with a smile, my skin has become very good. Even if I train outside, it will not become rough. If you don't believe me, touch it. Seeing a cloud on Tiantian's face, Naruto subconsciously raised his hand to touch it, and nodded seriously. It's really smooth and tender. Oh, what did I see? Yamanaka Ino flashed in from the outside, with a smirk on his face. My skin is also very good, this thing is really good. Behind him, Hinata followed closely, and also said weakly, I have the same feeling. That's good, drink more. Aha, the 3 of them were not polite, and began to help Naruto cut meat, wash vegetables, and cook. In the end, it felt too crowded and drove Naruto out directly. They were busy in the kitchen. Seeing this scene, Naruto touched his nose, sat leisurely at the dining table, and watched their busyness. It's an enviable life. Yes, Zabujan and Bai are inseparable, lying on the corridor at the moment, looking at Naruto enviously. This guy, throwing dog food every time he comes back, it's so annoying. However, Mr. Zabujan actually has a girl chasing him, which is very interesting. Naruto was shocked. Really? You have successfully aroused the shame and anger of the ghost man, triple the critical strike, and get a soft cover plus 31. Real. Bai quickly sold Zabujan. I met it when I was shopping for vegetables, and Mr. Zabujan did her a little favor. Single quote. A small plot where the hero saves the beauty. Naruto was expressionless. He still finds it a bit unbelievable. Why would someone value this fierce ninja? He is really curious. Who is this person? His vision is really good. Congratulations. I am not interested. Shaking his head directly without beheading. I will leave in 3 years. I am not interested in this. My goal has not been completed yet. Why? The goal, it will always change after a long time, but don't you find it strange that someone pursues you? Do you want to experience it? If you say you're not interested, you're not interested. Zabujan felt a little irritated, and went upstairs directly. Bai pursed his lips and smiled. Mr. Zaibuzan is just so arrogant, just get used to it. Haha, I'm used to it, don't worry. Naruto laughed, then changed his tone, and asked, I just don't know who that woman is, do I know her? As soon as he said this, Bai's face became a little weird. She said her name was Chizubaki. Who are you talking about? Naruto was surprised and felt that he had an auditory hallucination. You heard me right, it's Chizubaki. What the hell? Naruto looked at Bai in shock, and the corner of his mouth twitched fiercely. I really didn't expect such a result. If you don't cut it again, I admire you, so you are the old king next door. Naruto sighed. What are you guys saying? Let's talk about Mizuki. Mizuki, Ino and Hinata looked at each other. This is their teacher, but at the time of graduation, Naruto was beaten by Naruto and permanently disabled. Now he can only spend the rest of his life in prison. What's up with him? His fiancée was finally taken down by some old king next door. JEA. Hinata, Ino, day by day, you have successfully aroused Hyuga Hinata's shocked emotions, tripled the critical strike, and gained the ability to roll eyes. You successfully aroused Yamanaka Ino's shocked emotions, quadruple the critical strike, and gained spiritual enhancement. You have successfully aroused Tiantian's shocking emotions, doubled the critical strike, and obtained the aura option. The meme of Pharaoh next door came from Naruto and then spread throughout Konoha village. The Mizuki incident last time became the laughingstock of others. Didn't expect it to come true now. Of course, this is just a joke, and no one will say anything. Mizuki is useless. You can't let Chizubaki guard Mizuki until the end of her life, right? That's not realistic. Bai, do you want to come and eat together? Hinata looked at Bai. Bai heard this and shook his head hastily. Just kidding, I'm not here to be a light bulb, and I can't stand your dog food. I'm going to find Mr. Zabujan. Bai ran away in a flash, leaving only the people who were laughing together. Began to eat. The square table brought by Naruto happened to be one seat for each person. We can set up a round table in the future. Naruto thought about it while eating, and couldn't help sighing again. This kind of life is what I want. Relaxed, without too much pressure. This is Konoha village. It looks like it has been built, but there should be a lot less people. About half a month later, a woman appeared at the gate of Konoha village, and she was looking at the gate of Konoha village at the moment. Are you a ninja? Azumo waved at Konan. If you are a ninja, you need to register. Excuse me, is Jiraiya in Konoha village? Master Jiraiya. Azumo was taken aback for a moment, and the somewhat beautiful ninja in front of him was looking for Master Jiraiya. Who is this? Azumo was puzzled, but nodded calmly. Of course he is, he should be helping in Hokage's office right now. Thanks, I'm registered. Konan handed over the registration record and went out to have a look. The person named Konan in front of him turned out to be a ninja from Rain Shinobi village, and he also came to look for Master Jiraiya. I don't know what their relationship is. Okay, you go in. This is just registration as usual, and it doesn't have much effect, but it is also a necessary means. I'm finally here at Konoha village, I'm really looking forward to it. Uzumaki Naruto. A coldness flashed in Konan's eyes, and he walked towards Hokage's office with his long legs. Sigh, what does Danzo mean? That's right, Danzo said that he is old and needs to go back and have a good rest, so he left the route to me to lead, but he has a very promising junior for me to install. He means that the 7th class is not missing a person, so it will be inserted into the 7th class, a class with Naruto and small Sakura, so that Kakashi, the 7th class, can be formed again and then they can do the task. Konoha village does have a lot of quests, so that's actually not bad. Jiraiya was thoughtful, but why do you think Danzo is so refreshing this time? There must be a conspiracy in it. Tsunade crossed his hands, leaned on the office chair and sneered slightly, the biggest. The trouble must be at the root. Perhaps you can ask the teacher. Old man 3rd generation. Come on, do you think he'll tell me? Tsunade helplessly spread his hands. He said, let me experience it myself. Don't ask him about many things, unless it has reached the point where it is impossible. This is really, since that's the case, leave the investigation to me. I don't believe that he will treat the root like an iron bucket. Jiraiya smiled confidently. Investigating intelligence is our ninja's strong point. Then I'll leave this matter to you, and you must investigate why Danzo is so confident, so you can use that tongue to get rid of the trouble. I don't believe it. You can rest assured. Buckle buckle. At this moment, there was a knock on the door. Tsunade was surprised. Who is so polite? Maybe Anbu has something to do. Come in. Crunch. Accompanied by Tsunade's voice, the door was gently pushed open, revealing a slim figure outside. Who are you? Looking at Konan in front of him, Tsunade's eyes flashed with surprise. This woman is very beautiful, but she is somehow familiar. Jiraiya was even more stunned, and the happy time in Rain Shinobi Village that year flashed in his mind, and his voice suddenly trembled. Konan. A touching smile suddenly appeared on Konan's face. Teacher Jiraiya, long time no see. It's really you. Jiraiya took a deep breath. I thought you guys had already dead. It's true that I'm on the brink of death, but it's better now. By the way, why did you find Konoha village? Looking for you, Teacher Jiraiya. Konan smiled. Ms. Jiraiya has been wandering all over the world before, and we couldn't find you, and it was inconvenient to bother you, but now that you have settled in Konoha village, of course I want to see. Find fault by the way. Good good. Jiraiya laughed excitedly. It's great if you can come to see me. Where is Nagato, and where is Yahiko? Konan was silent. Jiraiya's face froze. Are they dead? Jiraiya's voice trembled. There is one thing to say. Konan and the others are also disciples taught by himself. Even if he left in the end because he didn't want to stay in Rain Shinobi Village, he still left enough supplies. They are very talented. If they practice well, they may not be able to stand out in Rain Shinobi Village. But why? Pain flashed in Jiraiya's eyes. No, you just said us. Konan nodded, a little sad. Yahiko is dead, framed to death by Hanzo of the Salamander, and Nagato is now unable to move in order to save me and Yahiko, so he can only stay in Rain Shinobi Village. But don't worry, Mr. Jiraiya, Nagato is taken care of, and he's used it over the years. There are 9 truths and 1 falsehood about lies, so it is difficult to be exposed. At least most of what Konan said was true and not fake. Hanzo of the Salamander. Jiraiya's face was cold. He is so shameless, it's abominable to attack juniors like you. Jiraiya and the others are all descendants of Hanzo of the Salamander, not to mention the younger Nagato and the others. As a result, this fellow shamelessly attacked the 3 of them. But what shocked Tsunade and Jiraiya was that Nagato and the others were able to escape from Hanzo of the Salamander, which was really strong. At the beginning, they also confronted Hanzo of the Salamander head-on, and lost in the end. But who are they? Konan, who are they? Tsunade looked at Jiraiya, speechless in his heart. Are all the disciples taught by this guy so awesome? Namikaze Minato, Nagato Yahiko are not bad, and I heard that he wanted to come back and teach Uzumaki Naruto, so it would be scary. The people Jiraiya valued turned out to be geniuses. This is exaggerated enough. It's good to be alive. Jiraiya opened her mouth and didn't know what to say. She looked at Konan with a smile on her face. Since we're here, why don't we stay in Konoha village for a few more days? I am here this time to stay here for a few more days. I wonder if there are any tasks that I can do. You want to make money. Jiraiya and Tsunade immediately thought that Konan wanted to make a lot of money to treat Nagato. What a friendship. The 2 almost burst into tears, and Tsunade nodded happily. It just so happens that although Konoha village has recovered a lot recently, there are still many tasks that need to be completed, but Konoha village does not have any extra ninjas, and there is a serious backlog of tasks. If you don't mind, I can give you some tasks. Anyway, it's not those classified missions, and some ordinary missions are harmless. If you don't cut it, you will be pulled by her to do the task. What's the difference? Then thank you, Hokage-sama. Konan looked excited. I will definitely work hard to complete the task and not let the reputation of Konoha village fall. Quote. That's not enough, let's do what we can. It's too late, you go out first, I have some things to discuss, related to Konoha village. Quote. Faced with Tsunade's apologetic expression, Konan expressed his understanding, and after saying something about waiting outside, he turned and left without delaying anything. Has a problem. Tsunade saw Konan go out, and looked at Jiraiya after sending out his senses. Jiraiya smiled slightly. At this moment, the 2 of them didn't have the previous look of being moved to cry, but they returned to normal. Although there seems to be no way out, come to visit me and find some tasks to do, but who is Hanzo of the Salamander? Being able to escape from it must be the best ninja, at least Jonin's strength. Wouldn't it be better for such a ninja to be a bounty hunter? Quick money. There's no need to overdo it. I think so. Tsunade nodded, and then was a little strange, but I just don't know what her purpose is this time. It can't be Uzumaki Naruto, the Jinchuriki. Haha, I think too much. Now Uzumaki Naruto is in the limelight, no matter how strong she is, she will not be stronger than Uzumaki Naruto. To find Naruto's bad luck, she definitely found the wrong person. It shouldn't be so irrational. It's useless to say too much, let's take a look. Also, she is a student you taught, how to arrange her is up to you. Gone. Jiraiya is in a daze, can't you be a good person and find a place for her to live in? Seeing Tsunade's ruthless look, Jiraiya felt powerless to complain, and could only shake his head and push the door open. Jiraiya, I hope you can figure it out. I haven't seen you for many years, but it doesn't mean that I really came to see you. Konoha village can't take it anymore. Tsunade looked away and sighed in his heart, what a troubled time. Even Jiraiya's former students came to Konoha village, not knowing what to do. I hope it's not a bad thing. Looking back, Tsunade took out the office documents on the side, and started working with a pen. Hokage is so hard. Let's go, GU. Good. The two walked out of the Hokage office building one after the other. Can you tell me about your experiences over the years? Okay. Before coming to a half-truth and half-false growth story, Konan quickly told this so-called encounter. According to Konan's previous experience, it was because of Hanzo of the Salamander's pursuit that they could only stay in the cave. Fortunately, perhaps they deserved their deaths, and it wasn't long before Hanzo of the Salamander's inexplicable and sudden death gave them a chance to breathe. Because of Nagato's injury, Konan can only go out to do missions. But with the passage of time, Nagato's injury did not improve, but he became completely paralyzed. He asked for more money. She had no choice but to come to Konoha village to make money. This money is clean, not like the Bounty Alliance. Jiraiya, a good story is made up, half truth and half false, and no one in it knows which sentence is true and which sentence is false. But what can be confirmed is that Nagato must be paralyzed. This cannot be faked, and it will be broken with one stab. You don't have a place to live yet. My house is only on the first floor. How about I arrange you in someone else's house? Everything is under the arrangement of teacher Jiraiya. Konan didn't care. She knew that it was impossible for these old and cunning ninjas to believe all these words, but so what, a little bit of belief was enough. In the past 2 years, she really wouldn't do anything out of the ordinary. It is difficult to get close to Naruto, but we will talk about this later, and we will talk about it after we stabilize in Konoha village. Well, come with me. Jiraiya waved and had an idea, took Konan to a turn and came to a house, and knocked on the door carelessly. The door is open, and Jiraiya is also alerting guests. Naruto was bored watching TV. When he heard the knock on the door, he went out to have a look, a little surprised. Pervy Sage, why are you here? Shut up and don't call me Pervy Sage. Jiraiya was a little out of breath. Konan behind him pursed his lips and smiled. This name is not really unexpected, it fits teacher Jiraiya's temperament. You have successfully aroused Jiraiya's embarrassment and indignation. The critical hit is 13 times, and the power of Sage Mode is +1. You successfully aroused Konan's curiosity, tripled the critical strike, and obtained the God's Paper technique. Naruto glanced subconsciously, and saw Konan following behind Jiraiya. He was a little surprised, and asked calmly, this is it? Oh, her name is Konan, she is a former student of mine, and now I have no place to live in Konoha village, can I live with you first? This, it can be done, but won't it be inconvenient? What's the inconvenience? You rent the 3rd floor to her, and I'll pay for it. Make a deal. Naruto clapped his hands and agreed with a smile. Jiraiya, Konan, you have successfully aroused Jiraiya's speechless emotion, the critical hit is tripled, and the number of chakra obtained is +1. You have successfully aroused Konan's speechless emotions, the critical hit is 5 times, and the power of chakra is +1. There are new things coming out, and this time the things are still very useful. The power of chakra has increased, which means that all the ninjutsu related to chakra can be improved. This is great. Naruto glanced at Konan with fiery eyes. As expected of a member of the Akatsuki organization, he gave himself a good thing in a critical strike as soon as he came. And this Konan is also charming and charming. Naruto laughed. Konan's heart moved, he frowned secretly, and at the same time, there was a hint of joy. This Uzumaki Naruto is really as small as he said. That being the case, it will be easy to handle. 2 years is enough to collect some useful information. That's fine. Konan, do you have luggage? No, All alone. Then move in first, I'll buy you a bed and other furniture. No need, Mr. Jiraiya, I will keep everything simple, first do tasks to make money, and then slowly buy things. Jiraiya was noncommittal. Let's not talk about other things for now, but beds and the like are still needed, don't be polite to me, your teacher, I have some savings, I won't starve myself to death. Konan was silent. Teacher Jiraiya is still the same as before, carefree but thoughtful, not to be underestimated. In her opinion, the most difficult task this time is Jiraiya. The best opposite would be Uzumaki Naruto. Because Uzumaki Naruto is at that age, even if he is very strong, he will not have the rich experience of a veteran ninja like Tsunade Jiraiya. Come in, I'll take you to the third floor to have a look. I go to buy something. Jiraiya smiled, gave a warning look, and Naruto walked away with a smile. Naruto took Konan for a walk and went up to the third floor. Konan, I never thought that the goal of getting close to Naruto could be achieved by angering you so much. Teacher Jiraiya is still so warm-hearted. Mr. Jiraiya, I hope you don't go against God. Absolutely. It's not too easy a bit, but Jiraiya's actions are reasonable and logical. Among the people he knows so far, only Uzumaki Naruto has this condition. It's not that Jiraiya has no money, it's just that it has been pouring out before. Konoha village rarely comes back, and it doesn't work no matter how good it is, so I got a one-story one at that time. Now he lives alone, so he never thought that Konan would come to him. You have successfully aroused Konan's ecstasy, the critical hit is 7 times, and the power of chakra +1 is obtained. You have successfully aroused the extreme ecstasy, the critical strike is 8 times higher, and the perception ability has been enhanced. Naruto, who was walking on the corridor, paused, really plotting against me. Just don't know what to calculate. Glancing at Konan who was walking behind, Naruto pondered, could it be a so-called beauty trick? Tisk, that would be really interesting. The mastermind behind it must be expert, knowing that this is my hobby, I will have some ideas if I am sure. Really awesome. Who is the one? The names of Obito and Juaren flashed through Naruto's mind, and finally settled on Ju. He felt that his idea was absolutely correct, it must have been done by this ultimate old fool, and no one else, even Obito, would have thought of it. You may have thought of it, but you will never act on it. Interesting, do you want to learn from Wang Yun? Beauty trap. Tisk. Naruto remained expressionless, and took Konan to walk around the third floor and said, basically, the decoration is completed, but there is no such furniture. I'll take care of these myself, thank you little brother. Well, don't call me little brother. Just call Naruto. Calling my little brother to make me look small is not okay. Naruto, thank you. You're welcome. If you are a student of Pervy Sage, then you are my friend. It's just a favor, and you have to pay the money. Everyone gets what they need. Thank you anyway. Konan smiled slightly, seeing Naruto staring blankly. This Konan is definitely tempting me. Naruto was powerless to complain, stone-hammered, definitely using a beauty trick, but I like it. Naruto smiled heartily, and she ran down the corridor. Seeing this, I feel relieved, since Konan has lived in Naruto's house with peace of mind, then everything is going very smoothly, so I have to explain to Nagato. Just keep an eye on it, otherwise something unexpected will happen and it will be annoying. Everything is going pretty well. Watching Naruto go down, Konan glanced around, she was surprised just now, the decoration style is very tasteful, and she doesn't know who wrote it. The next step is to gain Naruto's favor as much as possible and collect his intelligence. But I also have to go out to do tasks, and I have to do a full set of things. I feel that such a life will not come. Konan suddenly felt a little excited in his heart, a little eager to try. This is a challenge, and it is also a rare task that I have come out alone for so many years. Nagato, just wait, I will definitely collect the most comprehensive information for the arrival of that world. Konan stood in front of the window, smiling, but suddenly, her pupils shrank suddenly, and she saw 2 figures walking slowly on the streets of Konoha village. His face gradually became serious. Her feeling is not wrong, the strength of the man in black, dead. Who is this person, and why does that kid next to him look familiar? Konan stared at the 2 people walking on the streets of Konoha village, and his heart was shocked. The man in black was very powerful. There is no reason, just this intuition. Well, what's wrong with Konan? His face is so serious. Ju, who was about to leave, was taken aback suddenly. He found Konan's face was very solemn. This was the first time he saw Konan showing such an expression. Following Konan's line of sight, he definitely saw those two people. One of them is less clear and kind of weird, but the other one absolutely looks weird. Why does this kid who looks as big as Naruto feel that Chakra's nature is somewhat similar to Naruto? And it seems to be a member of the Uzumaki clan. Absolutely dumbfounded. Where did these two people come from? He had never seen them before. Konan was so solemn that he should be the one whose hair covered half of his face. The ninja world is so big, and there are many people I haven't met, so it shouldn't be a big problem. Is that kid the illegitimate child of Namikaze Minato outside? Hiss. It must be. Otherwise, the nature of chakra is so similar. Hey, it's not right. Did Namikaze Minato also find a female ninja from the Uzumaki clan outside? It seems to be possible. Ju thought. In those days, Namikaze Minato flew around with Flying Thunder God. Who could catch him? Who knows what he did outside? It's a stone hammer. It must be like this, and this time it must be this person who brought Minato's illegitimate son to Konoha village to meet his relatives. Maybe it was who heard about Uzumaki Naruto's deeds, so they came to the door. At this moment, there was a storm of thoughts in Ju's mind, and a lot of bloody things flashed through his mind, and the more he thought about it, the more excited he became. If he told Obito about this matter, he might break his heart. Although Obito killed his teacher and wife, he deeply recognized Namikaze Minato's character in his heart. If he said this, he would definitely be heartbroken. Tisk. When I think of this, I get excited and feel very interesting. This is a super big melon. No, I have to look again, confirm again and go back and tell Obito to see how he reacts. Ju hid behind his back and watched the two of them quietly. And they didn't realize that someone was watching them, which is absolutely terrifying. Sasuke-sensei, is this the old Konoha village? Yeah, it feels a little strange. Sasuke chuckled. I haven't seen this scene for a long time. It's really incomparable with the future. In the future, under the leadership of Naruto, Konoha village will develop too fast, too fast. This is also due to Naruto's strength and personality, which made the entire ninja world tend to a peaceful era. The peaceful era is a hotbed of technology and other things. This year is really a technological explosion. Even ninjutsu has been refurbished a lot. Maybe the strong ones are still not as good as their generation, but the future will definitely not be worse. I don't know where my dad is now. Maybe I'm learning ninjutsu from Jiraiya. Sasuke thought about it, but he didn't have any memories. He was no longer in Konoha village at this time, and he really didn't know the specific situation of Naruto. Let's go eat something first. Hungry. Boruto rubbed his belly. What's delicious in this period? Ramen. 1. Why? Boruto stared. Is there no other food? Yes, but I basically don't go to ramen except for grilled meat and grilled fish. Barbecue. You pay. Boruto. So you are like this Uchiha Sasuke. I have a picture. I'll go find Naruto when I'm full. He should still be in the village now. Go to the barbecue. Boruto is looking forward to the yakiniku of this period. Result. Looking at the barbecue restaurant in front of him, Boruto had a question mark on his face. Teacher, are you sure you are here? That's right, it's here. Boruto, isn't this the yakiniku restaurant of Uncle Choji's house? It turned out that it was opened here at this time, and it is also an old-fashioned restaurant. Go in, finish your business after eating. Sasuke walked in first and sat down at a random place, followed by Boruto. The two ordered some barbecue and ate in silence. While eating, Boruto looked up at Sasuke with a stiff expression, feeling Boruto's eyes pass by Sasuke, and then his face gradually became stiff. Teacher, it seems that our money can't be spent here. Probably. Sasuke's face was stiff, bewildered. I am the second leader of Konoha village, and Uchiha Sasuke, who has the strongest business ability outside, is actually going to eat Bawang meal. This somewhat damages his image. The key is to stay in Konoha village for a while, and eating a king's meal is not enough. What should I do? Boruto obviously thought of this too, a little at a loss. It's easy, I know illusion. That's right, Mr. Sasuke's illusion is said by his father to be the most powerful, so it's a piece of cake to use it here. The corner of Sasuke's mouth twitched fiercely. He actually wanted to use illusion for a barbecue meal, it was really hard to describe. Naruto, I still want to thank you when I was in the forest of death last time. I will treat you to this barbecue today. You're welcome. On the other side, Naruto sat face to face with Konoha. Naruto glanced at Konoha, and found that she should be living well in Konoha village. Now her whole body has begun to grow, and she is no longer as dry as before and looks unnutritive. You made money. Well, I learned a lot in the ninja hospital, and now I am also a ninja doctor who can treat ninjas, but I don't want to see you in the hospital. I won't go, but I don't know if Sasuke will go in the future. He is a frequent visitor to the ninja hospital. Really, I seem to have heard of this too, and you and Ino went to visit him every time. Pat. Sasuke stared blankly at the scene in front of him, and the chopsticks in his hand fell directly. What's going on? Am I hallucinating? How could Konoha be here? And listening to their conversation, it seems that Konoha has been living in Konoha village recently, but how is this possible? There is no such picture in his memory. What went wrong? Boruto looked up in surprise. What's the matter with the teacher? Can't you hold the chopsticks? Then he saw Sasuke staring at a place in a daze. Following Sasuke's gaze, Boruto's eyes lit up. Dad, when I was young. Hey, who is the person opposite him? Boruto is terrified. This can't be Dad's girlfriend. No, Dad got married to Mom to have him and Sunflower, so who is this girl in front of me? You successfully aroused the shocking emotion of Uchiha Sasuke in the future. The critical strike was 100 times, and you got Inferno style, flame control. You successfully aroused the surprise emotion of Uzumaki Boruto in the future. The critical strike was 30 times, and you got water style, waves. You have successfully aroused the panic of Boruto in the future vortex. The critical strike is 50 times, and the net eye fragments +1 air obtained. Clean eyes. There is also the powerful ability of flame control, which is unstoppable for this wave. Mirai Sasuke and Mirai Boruto. Naruto suddenly came to his senses. It seemed that there was indeed a series of stories about what Otsutsuki Arashiki wanted to come to extract the Nine Tails chakra, and then future Sasuke and future Boruto came to stop it. I thought there might not be any, but I didn't expect that they would really come so suddenly. I didn't even feel it. Is this the great power of shuttle time? Naruto muttered, and then Ichiraku in his heart, it doesn't matter if it's here, the person who contributed to my crit came, that Otsutsuki Arashiki didn't know what good things would come out of crit. Naruto, what are you thinking? It's okay, I just thought of something interesting. Naruto ate a piece of barbecue and laughed. Eat it, I have to go home after eating, a very special guest came today and I need to entertain him. Well, I know this, it's one of Jiraiya's teacher's students. Oh, it's spreading so fast. Nope, Xianglin was a little shy, mainly because she cared too much for Naruto, so she knew it was not a secret. Sasuke's eyeballs almost popped out. Is this phosphorus? Isn't this expression only when you are supposed to face me, so what happened to this Konoha village? Sasuke was mad. He felt that everything was beyond his control, and many incredible changes had taken place. You successfully aroused the shocking emotions of Uchiha Sasuke in the future. The critical strike was 300 times, and you got the Yin Ziwen Road. Hiss. Yin power. Naruto gasped. This power has been divided into 2 parts by 6 paths since ancient times. Later, why Naruto and Sasuke were so strong was because of the effect of yin and yang forces, which made them successfully seal Otsutsuki Kagaya. According to the Sage of 6 Paths, there has never been a single person in this world who can master the power of yin and yang at the same time, and the body cannot bear it. So, why did Sage of 6 Paths hold up? Oh, he is strictly Otsutsuki, not human. Although Naruto and Sasuke are the reincarnation of Indra Ashura, they are the reincarnation of chakra, so strictly speaking, Sasuke and Naruto still belong to the human category. Because of this, their physical fitness naturally cannot withstand the power of yin and yang. I don't know if it's possible. Naruto's eyes sparkle. If his physical fitness reaches a certain level, can he accommodate the power of yin and yang? But I don't know what this so-called yin-yang power is, I just know it's awesome. Naruto recalled the power he possessed, whether integrating this yin power can open the way. I'm a full attribute ninja now, so I should be able to. Forget it, regardless of these, it's a good thing anyway. Naruto shook his head and didn't pay any attention to it. After eating the barbecue with Xianglin, he left without looking at future Sasuke and future Boruto at all. Now is not the time. He needs to pluck the wool as much as possible. These two people, no, they are three people. They have been here for a short time, so they need to pluck the wool as much as possible. It's decided, set a small goal, and let's talk about it after showing them off. Xianglin, goodbye, you can often come to my house to play in the future. Naruto waved to Kaorin, and the two parted ways. Rear. Sasuke and Boruto also walked out of the barbecue restaurant. Sasuke looked at Xianglin and then at Naruto, and the shock in his heart can be imagined. He still hasn't figured out what's going on. Looks like we need to investigate. Why, this past, something is not quite right in the world. Sasuke looked serious. Did you see that red-haired girl? Her name is Xianglin. In my memory, she shouldn't be here. I see, you said that everything that happened here is different from what you remember. Exactly. Sasuke gave him an appreciative look, and then said lightly, go, let's investigate. Thinking about this future, Sasuke is no longer able to stand up. I think he will investigate. Tisk. This is a good opportunity for a critical strike. Future Sasuke, strike critically. Naruto walked towards the house with a smile on the corner of his mouth. He can't wait to see what kind of expression this future Sasuke will have after investigating everything. It must be very exciting. You're back, I've basically taken care of Konan's affairs, and I'll be counting on you Naruto for a while. Don't worry, I will take care of it properly. Gone. Jiraiya glared at Naruto. Take it easy, boy. This little color batch. But he is not worried. Konan is still young at this age, but he will never fall in love with Naruto, and she must have her purpose in coming to Konoha village, which requires Tsunade and the others to investigate. Jiraiya thought it best not to get involved. Understood, I will definitely take it easy so that you don't worry. Jiraiya was suspicious, always feeling uneasy. Now he wondered if he had been too hasty in placing Konan in Naruto's house. But everything was done, and it was too late to repent. After thinking about it, Jiraiya smiled and felt that she had thought too much. Thinking of this, the idea made sense. Jiraiya left Naruto's house humming a song. Ha, Konan, let's have dinner together, I'm treating you tonight. Naruto turned around and yelled towards the third floor, constantly thinking in his heart that Warcraft meat can't be used, but don't forget that there are so many critical strikes, and some ordinary food is also available. Just took it out today to try it out. Maybe it will work. Plotting against me. Then it depends on who plots whom in the end. Konan stepped down and glanced at Naruto, sneered in his heart, is this the beginning? Now her mind is still full of that man in black, and she always feels that that man is dangerous. There is no reason for this feeling, but she is uneasy inside. This Konoha village is full of weirdness. Uzumaki Naruto is strong, and now there seems to be another one. I don't know if Absolutely has discovered this. Konan whispered in his heart, but washed his hands calmly on his face, and sat opposite Naruto unceremoniously, staring at Naruto with beautiful eyes. What do you eat? Naruto, you are so impolite, just wait for me, I will let you come and go. Staring at that beautiful face, Naruto smiled slightly, and pointed to the kitchen. Bai is cooking, his cooking skills have always been very good. Yes, Bai is a good cook. I followed Zaibusion since I was a child, and I eat out every day or Bai cooks for me. After coming to Konoha village recently, they seldom go out to eat, and Bai is in charge of the cooking. Zaibusion sits and enjoys what he gets every day, but one of them is willing to fight and the other is willing to suffer. Bai also likes to cook and cook for Zaibusion. In his words, he will follow Mr. Zaibusion all his life, never leave, never leave. Listen, what a touching story. It's a pity that Bai is not a woman, which is a bit of a pity, otherwise they can completely solve it internally, and don't need to take advantage of others. The name Chisubaki suddenly flashed in Naruto's mind. It's amazing not to cut it, but in Konoha village, I can even hook up with another one. I heard that Chisubaki is gentle and kind, so if I don't cut it, I won't be swayed by my fingers, right? With strange thoughts in his mind, a timely smile appeared on his face. Eat whatever you do for nothing. He had already thrown some of those common ingredients into the refrigerator. When Bai cooks, he will take it from the refrigerator quietly, and no one will know that it is a result of his own test. Is this the new tenant who moved in today? It's a woman, Jiraiya can't think about it like that. Go away. Naruto's face turned black, and he didn't want to kill him. What do you mean, am I that kind of person? Tisk, I'll just say it casually, don't be so excited. Zai-Bu-Zan sat down straight away, and said with a smile, speaking of which, you are so nice today, you didn't let those 3 girls come over. Why? They also have their own lives, and were not married either. Konan was shocked. I rely on. How old are you before you think about getting married? You successfully caused Konan's shock, the critical strike was 30 times, and the power of origami was strengthened. Naruto's heart moved, this is good. If Konan joins my team, Konan origami can completely make detonating symbols, and in conjunction with Tiantian's increase, the power is unimaginable. Naruto shuddered at the thought of the terrifying power. It was a thrill of excitement. Yes, if it can be done like this kind of thing that has no boundaries of blood succession will really take off that day, and it will fly very high. This will be discussed separately at that time. There is no sign of horoscope yet. Glancing at Konan, Naruto looked at Zabujan and said with a smile, it's been a long time since I've had a free meal. TCH, are you still important? I either go to eat ramen or eat barbecue every day, or just eat whatever I want. The most important thing is, you spend more time eating with Hinata and the others, do you still need us? Speaking of this, if you don't cut it off, your face will be full of thoughts. I don't know what Naruto thinks, why they were hired in the first place, they all feel that they are free to eat and drink here, their lives are lazy, and they don't want to go out for a living. Is this what Naruto wants? He said that he wanted them to protect him as bodyguards, but he really wanted to complain, which one of us will protect the other? You are so powerful and still need protection. I think you are almost protecting us. Hey, what you said is wrong, don't I think you guys are more lively here, there are people who are fighting landlords and so on. No more chopping. You have successfully aroused the emotion of the ghost man, no more speechless, the critical hit is 5 times, and the power of the technique +1 has been obtained by the water body. You successfully aroused Konan's speechless emotions, the critical strike was 6 times, and the constitution +1 was obtained. Here we go, serve. At this time, Bai came out from the kitchen, holding the cooked food and said with a smile on his face, it's ready to eat. Then, let's move. Naruto Yuan Konan is not polite. I will be under the same house in a short time in the future, so you are welcome. Konan raised an eyebrow. Why do I always feel that the words that come out of Naruto's mouth are weird and strange? It just feels weird. Suspicious. Konan took a sip casually, his eyes lit up, and he glanced subconsciously. Naruto was right, this person has very good cooking teeth. Yo, won't you call me after dinner? Tsunade walked in and saw several people sitting together eating, he couldn't help laughing. Naruto, don't you mind adding me? Do not mind. Naruto is not surprised. Tsunade may be close to here, and he will come to visit occasionally. Sometimes I don't go home after working late, and live directly on the first floor. Naruto is used to this, but this is the first time he has eaten something that comes out of a critical attack. Naruto has not forgotten that when Tsunade took his own special medicine in the short book street, it actually increased his favorability. Glancing at the unceremonious Tsunade, Naruto twitched his face, remembering the moment of suffocation. Hiss. Horrible. Proud. Well, it tastes good, doesn't it? Tsunade took a bite, and his eyes lit up. Who made it? White. Naruto ate silently, the crit in front of his eyes began to flicker. You successfully aroused Tsunade's joyful emotions, the critical hit is 10 times, and the power of chakra +1 favorability +1. You have successfully aroused Konan's joyful emotions, the critical strike is 8 times, the speed is +1, and the favorability is +1. You have successfully aroused the joy of the ghost man, triple the critical strike, get the water of spiritual energy, and loyalty +1. You have successfully aroused Bai Xing's emotions, the critical strike is 5 times, and you will get aura green vegetables, follower loyalty +1. Naruto raised an eyebrow, a smile appeared on his face. He realized the formation of this so-called favorability. To put it bluntly, it is a woman I am interested in, and I will have a good impression after eating what I give. For example, little Sakura, Naruto is not interested in her, she eats her own food to increase her friendship, but if she does not kill her, because she is hired by herself, the critical strike ability will classify her as her subordinate. Isn't subordinate just to increase loyalty? As for Bai, he regards Zabuza as his inner belief, so it is an additional follower loyalty. That is to say, if you bind it and don't cut it, you will bind Bai. If he didn't leave again, he would leave unceremoniously. It's pretty human. This should be a subtle change, and it will not change people's will. Just like Bai, his deepest will is to follow and never cut, so he didn't change this will, perfect life. Thinking of this, the smile on Naruto's face grew stronger. Tsunade took a look at Naruto, his eyes were soft, he seemed like his younger brother before. Konan is indifferent, but I always feel that Naruto is a little bit better, at least the food is very good, and he is very polite, and he is not as hideous as he always said. Of course, this is artistic processing, Konan expressed his understanding. Eat, these are fresh ingredients. Good. A few people smiled, no matter whether there was a purpose or not, but the meal was really enjoyed by the host and guest until the end. What's on your mind? After eating and drinking enough, Naruto stood on the balcony to blow the wind, the breeze was blowing on his face, bringing a bit of coolness, and Naruto's thoughts were flying. Tsunade came over and leaned against him, asking a casual question. I was thinking about Rasengan. Rasengan. Tsunade was a little surprised. Is this unfinished jutsu? Yeah, the unfinished ninjutsu is really appropriate. That's what Jiraiya said. Tsunade recalled Jiraiya's original statement and then said, this can be added to chakra nature transformation, and there will be many changes, including the Rasengan that you used last time that will disappear. They are essentially the same. You're right. Naruto smiled slightly. This ninjutsu is ever-changing, I call it rubbing the bottle. Quote. Naruto raised his hand, and a Rasengan appeared in his hand. This is an ordinary Rasengan, but with the change of Naruto's chakra attribute, the Rasengan instantly turned red, and a scorching Rasengan was born instantly. This is. Tsunade's pupils shrank. You still have this attribute. Fine. Casually dissipating the Rasengan in his hand, Naruto smiled. This ninjutsu is very interesting, and many things can be added. Naruto even intends to combine flying water shuriken and Rasengan to form a brand new ninjutsu. In fact, it is possible, but the power is not very ideal. It's not as good as the wind style, the spiral shuriken, which can only be used under sage mode. As for the spiral shuriken that does not exist in the state of immortality, it is a real forbidden technique, which has indelible damage to one's own palm. But for Naruto, as long as his physique becomes stronger in the future, everything is possible. You are already at the level of a master. Perhaps you can also call it a legendary ninja. Looking at Naruto's immature face, Tsunade sighed, I've never seen such a powerful ninja like you. You have successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's admiration. The critical strike is 15 times stronger, and the power of wood style is plus 11. It's okay, I'm studying your 100 healings mark recently. Tsunade's eyes popped. Have you researched it? Yeah, it's pretty simple. Gone. Tsunade almost swears. You say it is simple. It is simple. Do you know how many difficulties I have experienced when developing this ninjutsu? Do you deny the efforts of others with just one sentence? You have successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's grief and indignation. The critical strike is 30 times, and the number of chakra obtained is plus 1. Have to say, Tsunade, you are a genius. Call my sister. Or call me 5th generation, who told you to call me by my name? It's all the same, these are trivial details, don't worry about it. Naruto waved his hand, unaware of Tsunade's anger, and continued to talk about. This 100 healings mark can adjust the physical skills, so that people's physical skills can always be kept at the peak, and can also slightly adjust the appearance, so that one's youth remains forever, which is very powerful. That is, Tsunade also admired himself for being able to develop such a ninjutsu. Definitely a women's favorite, I changed it for her. Tsunade, you successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's shocking emotion, the critical strike was 30 times, and the meridians were strengthened. Plus 1. Something new, is this starting to involve the body? Naruto muttered, but asked with a smile on his face, how about it, do you want to try it? Try, of course you have to try. If you don't try, how will you know whether what you say is true or not? Tsunade is also ruthless. I don't believe that you can be so monstrous. Even if 100 healings mark was deduced by you, you can still change your mother on top of it. This is too exaggerated. Tsunade still doesn't quite believe it. You are like this, Naruto said in a low voice. Before he knew it, Tsunade also leaned up to listen carefully. The more he listened, the more shocked Tsunade became. It seemed okay. Subconsciously, Tsunade started to run chakra and began to improve 100 healings mark. Pause time. The diamond-shaped imprint on Tsunade's forehead began to change, sometimes turning into a lotus flower, sometimes turning into a round logo, and sometimes disappearing. Sharp, polite. Tsunade didn't know what to say. He just came here for a meal, and he immediately exploded Wang's awe. Rasengan changes, 100 healings mark improvements. Explain. What else can't you? Tsunade looked at Naruto as if looking at a little monster. Is this still human? God, you have successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's complex emotions. The critical strike is 100 times, and the heart is strengthened +1. Tsunade's favorability +2. Not bad. Naruto glanced at the newly appeared. Heart strengthening. Weakly strengthen the heart function in an all-round way. When all your internal organs are strengthened, you will discover a new continent. It's getting outrageous. Naruto was excited inside. It's outrageous, the more outrageous the better, and he will become stronger. Konan was lying on the balcony on the 3rd floor, listening to the whispers below, and from the corner of his eye, he could see that the two were very close, and he was speechless in his heart. This Naruto is a bit hungry. You have successfully aroused Konan's a little disgust. The critical strike is 6 times, and the vortex physique has been strengthened. Naruto, what kind of cattle and horses? This is fine. Why do you hate me again? Did I provoke you? But when he thought that women are such strange creatures, Naruto felt relieved again, and the road ahead has a long way to go. Rasengan, 100 healings mark improvement. Although Konan knew that the two of them were nothing but talking about something, he still felt that there was something wrong with Naruto. This was probably the first impression of a person, and it was difficult to straighten it out. Konan muttered to himself. The Rasengan that just appeared in Naruto's hands is a bit strange, and according to Naruto's words, there are still many changes that can be developed. The ninja who created this ninjutsu is really amazing. Well, this is a very important piece of information that needs to be sent back, so write it down first. And that 100 healings mark. Below, Naruto and Tsunade didn't care about it at all, because these had already been shown on the surface, and they were not trump cards. It didn't matter if people knew about it, and it might even play a role in inducing. You are really amazing. I will remember this, love. Tsunade patted Naruto on the shoulder. I'll stay with you tonight, you won't disagree. Why, it's too late for me to be happy that 5th Hokage is staying at my house. Haha, then I'll go to rest and watch TV by the way. Tsunade doesn't realize it. It's so close here. She and Naruto are friendships that have been carried over, so what are you afraid of? I really don't think of myself as an outsider. It's really bold. The best place to gather information is where many people go, one of which is the bathhouse. Big night. Sasuke and Boruto are soaking in the bathhouse, listening to what the people around them say. That's how people are, chatting about homework and things they know. Sasuke believes that if there is a big change in this Konoha village, he will be able to get news from here. As for why I didn't investigate in the afternoon, it was because I needed to register and stay in Konoha village with a reasonable identity. The current Konoha village investigation is a bit rigorous because of the situation of Konoha's collapse plan, so we need to be careful, and we must not let people see the clues. By the way, let Boruto do acrobatics to earn some money to solve the dinner. After the work was done, the two came to the bathhouse and began to take a bath. By the way, they listened to the corner to see if it was as they had guessed. Have you heard? A beautiful woman lives in Naruto's home. I heard that this matter has already spread throughout Konoha village. Ha ha ha, Naruto is really lucky. Don't talk nonsense, that's Master Jiraiya's student, and he's temporarily renting it there. Sasuke, Boruto. As for how to rent out Naruto's dilapidated house to others, can he not live in it himself? Now it's not that he lived in a separate house when he was Hokage, isn't Naruto now a bit dilapidated single-child apartment? Can this live? And she's a beautiful girl, a student of Jiraiya. Since when did Jiraiya have a beautiful student? Boruto doesn't know much about it, but he's a little upset. The dad here is completely different from what the people around him say, so he feels like a small crook. Etc. Sasuke suddenly thought of someone he almost ignored. That is Konan, who is called an angel. A member of the Akatsuki organization. No way. Sasuke was confused. If it was really her, what happened in this world? Sasuke pressed Boruto, motioned him not to speak, and continued to listen. He had a feeling that there would be unexpected gains today. Boruto shrank his neck. Mr. Sasuke's face was so serious. Is there something wrong with that big beauty? Hey, talk about Naruto. We ignored him like that before. Fortunately we didn't mock him like everyone else. Yeah, I'm so glad. But when it comes to Naruto, I want to beat him up. Me too. Me too. Sasuke and Boruto were dumbfounded when they heard the commotion next door. So, what's going on? Simply, those people continued to brag and joke, and began to complain and say, Naruto is such a lucky boy. You see, Hyuga Hinata, Yamanaka Ino and he play very well every day. The four of them are always inseparable. I really envy him. Who said it wasn't? If I have the ability, so can I. You're right. If Naruto hadn't turned the tide this time, what would Konoha village look like? Orochimaru might have succeeded. Naruto's strength is really powerful, surpassing the shadows of the entire village, right? I've heard of this, and it's said to be defined by Naruto. Oh, how do you define it? Someone asked, and the person next to him was triumphant. I found this out with great difficulty, so I will tell you about it. Quote, isn't this defined according to the number of tasks and assessments before? The highest level is Elite Jonin, and there is no shadow of a village, that is, the village chief. But Naruto said that there is actually a rank above, which is called Super Shadow, a strong person beyond the shadow class. Hiss. So scary. Quote, there was a sound of gasping for air all around. Super Shadow, is he a ninja god like first generation? I guess so. Really, it's no wonder those people don't speak, as if acquiescing, gone, they are all scheming men. One sentence, one sound, passed into the ears of Sasuke and Boruto. Boruto didn't feel anything, because everyone regarded Naruto as a hero in his mind. After all, he hadn't personally experienced that period of time, so he just listened to a story. Besides, Dad and Auntie Ino are really nice. Are they all friends? But Sasuke's heart almost collapsed. What kind of cows and horses are they? Isn't what happened too exaggerated? Sasuke sorted it out and summed up the main points. First, Naruto is very strong now, and Chaoying is easy to understand. It is roughly his current strength, and the next step should be the so-called Sage of Six Paths. Second, Naruto turned the tide, that is to say, his current strength is already Super Shadow. This is so outrageous. Third, Naruto seems to be a small critic, because although Ino and Tiantian made good friends with Naruto, they are not so friendly now, at most they are classmates. Then there is Hinata. The Hinata of this period is still peeping. Where did the friendship come from? What the hell is going on here? Sasuke found in a trance that everything he knew collapsed at this moment. Sasuke-sensei, what's wrong with you? I'm fine, I just feel a little weird. Sasuke shook his head. His heart was strong. He quickly reacted, and said indifferently, keep listening, I have a feeling that this world is very unusual. The one called Sage Mode is very powerful, but I think the other mode is more powerful. Do you know what mode it is? I've heard of it. It seems to be called Nine Tails Chakra Mode. The golden light blinds my eyes. It's terrible, it's so handsome, I can't help but be excited by the picture now. By the way, there is also the ladder move, the ninjutsu that directly kills the first generation and second generation again. It seems to be the famous stunt of the first generation, the top of the Buddha, combined with the Nine Tails Chakra Mode. It is simply powerful explosion. It was also that trick that moved the entire roof and the house to the ground. Boom. Sasuke stood up suddenly. His face was horrified, he couldn't hold back any longer. What the hell is this? How could Naruto know wood style, and now he knows Nine Tails Chakra Mode, and now he knows Sage Mode, and he killed first generation and second generation with one move. Even if he knew that the first generation and second generation of impure world reincarnation were not at their peak during this period, they were not someone anyone could casually crush. So what happened to Naruto? Could it be that Naruto also traveled through time, but the way he traveled was different, but through soul wear? Sasuke suddenly had an idea, and then dismissed the idea. How is this possible? Even if the soul wears, where did the Buddha on the top of your wood style come out? Is it still a transplant? This is absolutely impossible. Is this person stupid? I think so. The person next to him pointed, but it still looks majestic. Sasuke blushed and sat down hastily, while Boruto looked at him strangely. Teacher, you have been praised. Gone. Sasuke roared. Go, continue to collect information elsewhere. Remember, give me a more natural expression. We're an acrobatics team now. Clear. Boruto nodded vigorously. The current Sasuke is gloomy and scary. It's better for him not to touch this bad luck. You have successfully aroused the super shocking emotions of Uchiha Sasuke in the future. The critical strike is 5,000 times, and the 5 viscera are strengthened by +1. You successfully aroused the unbelievable emotions of Uchiha Sasuke in the future. The critical strike was 3,000 times, and a magical seed was obtained. You successfully caused the collapse of Uchiha Sasuke's emotions in the future, a critical strike of 10,000 times, and a grain of breath soil. Naruto. Quack quack. Sure enough. At this moment, Naruto was lying on the bed watching TV, and he immediately regained his energy when the critical blow came out. The first is to strengthen the internal organs. Naruto used it decisively, and immediately felt a heat flow in the body, constantly nourishing his whole body. This feeling is very wonderful, like going to heaven. Not long after, Naruto finally broke away from this ecstasy feeling and returned to reality, felt it carefully, and clenched his fists. It seems that the strengthening of kidney function is good news for me. Quote. Not only the kidney function, but also the heart has been strengthened, and the chain reaction is that his physical fitness has been strengthened a little. This is awesome. Very good, it has become a lot stronger. Naruto jumped on the ground, grasping the sudden increase in strength now and then looked at the other two. One of them is a seed. A seed. Unknown seeds, no one knows what is bred in them. The seeds with a 3,000 times critical strike should not be some kind of rubbish. Here is Xiong. It's definitely a good thing. Breaking soil. Soil containing mysterious substances can grow automatically and never run dry, making it an ideal choice for many plants. Naruto. Isn't this matching with the mysterious seed? It's really considerate. Give it a try tomorrow. Speaking of which, the aura soil is really great. It grows almost overnight, and there is aura in it, but this thing seems to be a few times, and it loses the aura soon. It is not much different from other soils. Squeezing the soil in his hand, Naruto smiled. Now. Well, with this, there will be no shortage of soil rich in energy. There are many legends about Shirin, and Naruto can't remember so many, but he can be sure that this is definitely a good thing. It can be seen from the 10,000 times crit. Sure enough, Sasuke is also a very good person in the future. Naruto laughed, feeling that he would not be able to sleep tonight. Nuolese simply put on his clothes and went outside on the first floor, took a hoe and began to give the almost lifeless soil to. Flipped. Those vegetables were also lifted, and they all went to make way for Shirang. What are you doing? What happened to you in the middle of the night, shoveling the soil here without sleeping, and tore up all these beautiful green vegetables? Tsunade came out in pajamas with sleepy eyes and gave Naruto an annoyed look. I have no idea what Naruto is doing at this moment. Naruto turned his head, his eyes lit up. I rely on. Explosion. Tsunade looked down, and gave Naruto a hard look. Jiraiya is right, you are a small pervert. You have successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's angry emotions, the critical strike is 7 times, and the strange power is strengthened. By the way, what are you doing? Do experiments. Naruto looked down at Tsunade, and Tsunade didn't care. Since Naruto wants to go crazy, let him go crazy. 3rd floor. Konan turned on the light, came to the edge of the railing and looked down, frowning tightly together. She couldn't understand what Naruto was doing at this time. You have successfully aroused Konan's curiosity. The critical hit is 5 times, and the stamina +1 quality is gained. Naruto gave his hands a pause, ignored them, and quietly threw the soil into it after finishing these things. Earth style. Soil regeneration technique. In order to deceive the public, Naruto randomly made a seal, and then pressed one on the ground. Under the speechless eyes of Tsunade and Konan, the soil regenerated. In a blink of an eye, half of the yard was covered. Tsunade, Konan, looking at the soil on the side, and looking at the regenerated soil, the two had question marks on their faces. What's going on here? Totally incomprehensible shit. Next, it is the soil you dug out. You don't need it, you have to use ninjutsu to catalyze the soil. What kind of coquettish operation are you doing? The two were completely bewildered, and looked at Naruto in a state of bewilderment. You successfully aroused Senju Tsunade's bewildered emotions, tripled the critical hit, and got chakra +1. You successfully aroused Konan's bewildered emotions, quadruple the critical hit, and gained origami power +1. Naruto ignored the two, and at this moment he was very satisfied looking at his masterpiece, so he could endure the pretentious scouring in the tool bag, took out a seed, squatted down, and planted it in the soil. Done, and call it a day. So you do so many things just to plant a seed, I say you have enough time. Tsunade couldn't help complaining. Are you angry and can't sleep? Yeah, can you help me? Gun, one brat. Tsunade scolded with a smile, then pointed at Naruto wordlessly. Forget it, I don't bother to talk to you, this is your home, just be happy with it. Single quote. You successfully aroused Tsunade's speechless emotions, the critical strike was 8 times, and you got the aura green vegetables. Let's go, I don't bother to talk to you. Tsunade waved her hand, turned around and went back to sleep. Really, she thought, what the hell was Naruto going to do this big night, and that was it. Konan also twitched the corner of his mouth. Isn't this a mind-boggling thing? Gone. Shaking her head, she also turned around and planned to go back to rest, and to see if there was any task tomorrow. Since it is an excuse to make money, it must be carried out perfectly. No matter whether Mr. Jiraiya and 5th generation Tsunade believe it or not, it is enough to believe it. The rest she can't control so much. Seed, I hope you grow up quickly. Regardless of whether it was useful or not, Naruto sprinkled the remaining aura soil. Speaking of which, this soil is also magical, and the area of the generated soil is determined according to one's own ideas. If I don't limit myself, I don't know if a planet or a continent will be formed in a few years. Very likely. Naruto had a whim. The stars all over the sky couldn't be caused by the continuous spread of the soil and then violent collisions. The Big Bang. The soil keeps spreading, creating soil without limit, and suddenly one day explodes or splits up and spreads in all directions, forming the current universe. Hey, it's exactly what Tsunade said, I really want to go here when I'm free. What does the birth of the universe have to do with me? I'm just a little ninja who can't even fly. Naruto sighed. I don't know when I will have the strength to be free in the sky. I really envy those little birds. Sleep. Patting his buttocks, Naruto got up and washed his hands, changed into pajamas and got ready for bed. It was very late now, and the lights in many places had dimmed. It was obvious that they were all asleep, and Meowsy was a minority after all. It's a beautiful day, and the things that come out of the crit are getting more and more interesting. Tomorrow I will start tidying up my small warehouse again. Sleep well tonight. After a night of nothing to say, the next day, Naruto got up early, went to the balcony to stretch, and subconsciously came to take off. Well, it's them. Future Sasuke, the cheap son of the future. No, maybe it's just a son of a parallel world, and it has nothing to do with me. Are they staring at me? It's too hard for them. You successfully aroused the depressed mood of Uchiha Sasuke in the future, the critical strike was 5 times, and the Rinnegan fragment was obtained. You successfully aroused the depressed mood of Uzumaki Boruto in the future, the critical strike was 6 times, and the power of Shadow Clone technique was enhanced. It's this fragment again, I haven't collected it all. As for the power enhancement of Shadow Clone technique, it is really good, and the power will be a little bit stronger, but it is limited. Maybe they will get stronger over time, but that's it for now, it's useless. Yo, hello, Naruto greeted them. Why haven't I seen you before, are you new here? Why are you sitting on the stool, isn't it cold? Sasuke, Boruto, can we say that staying here for one night is afraid of a surprise attack from Otsutsuki Arashiki? If Naruto and the others don't understand the situation, no matter how strong they are, they are likely to suffer losses. Maybe Otsutsuki Arashiki is a bit stretched compared to the rest CJFE, but his strength really cannot be underestimated. Be careful, once he gets 9 tails, everything will be over. After saying hello, Naruto ignored the two, and went straight back to the room to change his clothes. Just as he went downstairs, he saw Tsunade dressed up and ready to trigger. Morning. Why are you so early today? Yeah, I can only wake up if I can't fall asleep. By the way, I have something to do. TCH, what can you be busy with, and you are in a panic all day long? Tsunade pouted, opened the door and walked out of Naruto's house in a blink of an eye. Under Sasuke's and Boruto's dull gazes, Tsunade jumped out of the window of Hokage's office, opened the window and climbed in. The one just now was Tsunade, 5th Hokage. Sasuke was expressionless. He's used to it. Since he came here, many things have been beyond his expectations. Is there any problem with a Hokage who can climb over the wall and a Hokage who doesn't take the usual path? No, so she's from the 5th generation. Boruto's eyelids twitched violently. I never knew. I don't know either. Sasuke lowered his eyebrows, and took out the turtle that took them through time. Sasuke was expressionless. Should you give me a reasonable explanation? Mother-in-law, I'm just a Otsutsuki noble phantasm born with self-awareness, how can I know such a complicated thing? Destroy it. Sasuke tried hard to kill this nasty turtle. Hey, wait, I remembered. The tortoise hurriedly yelled. I remember, don't shake your hands, I'm afraid, and don't use too much force. Although I look like a tortoise, I can't bear your huge strength. Explain. Well, it's like this. The matter of crossing itself is a serious issue that changes the direction of a world. Even in Otsutsuki, I can't use this kind of treasure at will. It's called a taboo item. I'm not very clear about the specifics, but it is said that someone above suppresses everything and does not allow random crossing. We also came here by accident, but there is a research that is very interesting, and that is the parallel world. Parallel world. Yes, it is parallel to the world you are in. There are many places and many characters, but if there are 10 accidents, it will change the pattern of the whole world. Get to the point. Sasuke has never been involved in this kind of field, and some don't understand. Boruto has read the biography of the novel and knows a little bit, but he is also in the fog. The two stared straight at Lee and needed an explanation from him. For example, I heard you said that when Naruto was young, he was influenced by that teacher named Iruka, right? But if Iruka wasn't there at that time, what do you think would have happened? This is called an inflection point, and it is a time period that can change the direction of the world. Sasuke was taken aback, and recalled the past carefully. If Naruto hadn't been influenced by Iruka at that time, hiss. Sasuke gasped. Who knew what would happen then? The biggest possibility is Naruto's blackening, escape from Konoha village, and then it is very likely that tailed beasts will be turned into beasts, 9 tails will be born, and a series of events. Think about it. Yes, it's probably what you think. This is a parallel world, somewhat similar to the infinite Tsukuyomi that happened in your time. Are you saying that Naruto here has undergone major changes for some reason, so this kind of situation occurs? Right. Similar to this kind of parallel world, there is no need for you to conceal your identities. Just do what you can, and just complete the goal. Because no matter how much you struggle here, it won't affect your future world. This is a parallel world that will almost never overlap. Gone. Sasuke and Boruto looked confused. There is still such an operation in this world, and it really raises its profile. Any question? Last question. Sasuke thought for a while and said lightly, is Otsutsuki very powerful? It's not a question of whether they are strong or not, and this matter is beyond your comprehension. In short, live in the moment, do it and cherish it. I always feel that your words are somewhat comforting to us. Never mind. The corner of Sasuke's mouth twitched, he put the turtle away, and looked at Boruto. Both of them were silent. The two of them had never imagined that there would be such a big surprise waiting for them when they traveled by accident this time, and now they were suddenly at a loss. What should I do? Teacher Sasuke, tell them the truth. Let me think. Sasuke rubbed his temples, feeling a little headache. He couldn't just confess foolishly just because of the turtle's few words. What if he was fooled? Isn't it the end? Affecting the future, let alone Sasuke, whether Boruto will be born as a problem. But I think what the tortoise said makes sense, and I can't find anything wrong with it. Sasuke squinted. Well, I couldn't find it either. Follow and see, it's really impossible to confess your identity. Oh well. Boruto was depressed, and then looked up at the big house in front of him and sighed. Although it looks a little old, it is much bigger than my future home. Really, Naruto's home in the future is not bad, but there is still a gap compared with the current one. Hey, that's Aunt Ino. Suddenly, Boruto pointed to a girl with a bag in the distance and exclaimed in surprise. It really is one of the village flowers, beautiful, but not as beautiful as Auntie Ino when she grows up. Single quote. Sasuke, a little girl who hasn't grown up yet, definitely can't be compared with a grown-up, you think too much. Well, that's Aunt Tiantian. Hiss, Mom is here too. They're all coming here, don't they? Boruto swallowed his saliva with a grunt. Are all the rumors I heard yesterday true? Probably. Sasuke's hair covered half of his face, and his heart almost collapsed. Why is there such a big gap between the two? Is it really the opposite of the parallel world in Infinite Tsukuyomi? He suddenly thought of the scene in Infinite Tsukuyomi when Naruto and the others were chatting. Hinata has changed from a shy little girl to a big sister, teasing Naruto in various ways, and the carefree Naruto has turned into a little show. Looking at it now, it seems quite reasonable. Hey, it doesn't mean anything to come here. I think if I let it go, it would be more exaggerated than him. Boruto's eyes widened again. Real or fake? Sasuke raised his eyebrows. At that time, I was very popular in school. I just waved and responded to it, and I could cause screams. Compared to me, the current Naruto is a bit less interesting. Sharp. Boruto sighed sincerely. I can't do it, Shuin. Boruto is full of admiration. It turned out that teacher Sasuke was so awesome at that time, so why did he ask for a little Aunt Sakura in the end? According to Dad's ridicule, little Aunt Sakura has violent tendencies. I don't know how Mr. Sasuke endured it, which is admirable. You must know that my father still had some lingering fears when he talked about little Aunt Sakura, but Mr. Sasuke subdued this violent aunt, who is better. You still need to ask. Admire. Don't talk. They're here. Ah, they entered Naruto's house. Everyone is carrying things in their hands. It seems that they have premeditated. What should we do? Watching Hinata and the others enter Naruto's house, Boruto looks at Sasuke. Cold salad, we just need to stay here. However, the money is running out, and we have to perform again in a day or two. Why don't we expose our identities and shock them to death? It's better not to do that unless it's absolutely necessary. Oh well. Boruto was discouraged, and could only sit on the chair bored, imagining in his mind what his cheap father was doing with his mother and Aunt Ino every day. For a while, I felt that time passed so slowly, and I felt very tormented. And at this moment, Naruto stayed in the warm room, looking at the three of Hinata with a smile. Yes, he planned to hang up 3 more people, so that they could keep up with his pace a little bit. Alone better together. One's own woman loves herself. Nothing wrong. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.